Yep, coming up on my end.
Yep, I think we are live. So, welcome back, everyone, to Grinding Game Podcast. We are coming off an extremely fun last showcase week with a little tail end of Nintendo, of course, having to do their own thing their own way and hitting something this week. But it is a ton of fun. Chip and I were doing a bunch of reporting back and forth as much as we could. Again, we apologize for our implosion of Summer Games Fest opening night live, but we got everything fixed and we were there for Xbox. And it was a little poetic that only the ones that happened were the PlayStation and Xbox, just based off our continued banter throughout the thing. But again, everyone, welcome back. We are back as a full crew. We got Dave, Chip, and myself, CT, and we are happy to be back. And we have a ton to talk about. We're going to spend today's episode running through each of the showcases, kind of talking about what's got us excited. We'll probably pass over some of the smaller things, but again, ton of stuff to play. It's going to be crazy trying to keep up, and good luck for every game that's in September. We'll touch on that a little bit as well. But we'd be remiss if we didn't welcome back Dirty Dave. Sir, how's everything going? Welcome back. Hope you were catching up on some gaming, catching up on some family stuff, but good to see you, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, boys. It's good to be back. I hated to be just sitting on the bench for a week. Reminded me of high school sports. But but there,
I'm sure it did.
I had to leave town for a little while and focus on some family matters, which we all discuss. Family comes first, but I'm happy to be back. Um, Talk about some games with you guys. I watched a lot of these um, presentations over the last week, the biggest week in gaming news, and you know, I'm ready to get back into it, back into the rhythm. There's a lot to discuss today, so it won't take up too much time. I'm just happy to be here.
Welcome back, brother. And just like you, I just came back from a trip myself over in Chicagoland. Amazing city, had a ton of fun, bunch of great food, really cool place. If no one's ever been there, I recommend going for a nice little long weekend. The wife and I. But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and we're glad to be back. But yeah, same thing. Bunch of games. Caught the Nintendo Showcase while I was away. We'll talk a little about that at the tail end of the episode as well. But Chip, how are you doing, brother?
Oh, boys, I tell you, I'm doing good. Today was a rough day for me, so I am a little on the tired side, but I am excited, and we're going to be motivated for this episode. It was record-breaking heat over here in Virginia today, and at work, I had some call-ins, so I had to take the mantle on one of the jobs, and that job was a completely outside job of dragging 50 to 100 pound hoses across the facility outside, and probably sweat out 2 gallons of water and got some heat cramps. So feeling good, feeling spry. Um, no, but I'm excited. We did talk a lot of gaming. There's a lot of gaming to talk. I'm excited to hear Dave's aspect on a lot of the things that we covered when we were doing our showcases. So glad to be back. Glad to have the boys all together and ready to kick this thing off.
Awesome. So yeah, like everyone stated, it was a ton of stuff that was happening. A bunch of us were reporting. Chip was out in the heat. I don't know if we really believe him. I think he was really grinding away at some 007, but that's all good.
Believe me, please.
He's just doing all nighters. He's like, I was working hard. No, but I'm just giving a hard time. But yeah, boys, I want to do things a little differently today. I know that we've all kind of dabbled here and there. I was traveling. We were kind of talking about a few things. But yeah, let's. I know it'll probably be kind of short, just what we've been playing, but I'll kind of go first. So before my trip, I was jumping back and forth between Path of Exile 2, the new season, a league. I'm sorry, don't crush me. But and that one I was running two builds. There's the Druid Plant Daddy build, what they call, and then I ran the Spirit Walker Pokemon build. So how they both work, real quick, is the plant build is essentially you just throw plants and tangled, and you build them up, and they explode and all that stuff, and it's kind of fun and a good screen clear. But what I've had more fun with was that Spirit Walker build, where you basically can you build it up to the point where you get you do your you remember the ascendancy stand.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ascend the second time, you unlock the ability, or you could do it the first one, depending on how you go about your build. But then you can catch bosses, and you can turn
Huh.
bosses into your companions. And so my
That's pretty
main
sick.
companion now is the mighty Silverfist, that gigantic gorilla that hit the one shots you. And now
Oh
he's on
yeah.
your side, and he's like one shotting all these enemies and stuff like that. And you build it around. Then you could do it where you can get that one and a unique creature, and they're kind of playing off each other. So now I've turned it to like a full like walking Pokemon build. I named my character Ash Ketchum in dedication. So
That's awesome.
you essentially, like, right now I have the mighty Silverfist, this like ant lion beast that has haste on it that makes everything faster, and then I have a spirit bear, and then a bunch of like 4 skeletons, and it's just game time, man. We're all just crushing everything to go in that way. And then like I built it where I have like an ultimate that summons, like uses all my runic ward to summon like 9 magicians, and it just kind of crushes bosses like they're nothing. So that one's been a ton of fun to play. And the other game, which I think it might be time for us all to jump back in with our love of Bungie, especially with all the craziness going on with Bungie right now. And
Yeah.
granted, you know, you can say what you want, feel what you want about Marathon. I agree. I would prefer Destiny 3 over a Marathon, don't get me wrong. But the time I've had with Marathon's been a bunch of fun. And jumping back into Season 2, I've been spending most of my time in the PvE mode. And how, excuse me, guys, I am still fighting a cold. 1 second. I could have muted for that. I apologize. But what we have in Season 2 is right now it's currently in the new map Night Marsh, where it's just Dire Marsh at night with like horror elements in it. Now there's like, essentially they remind me of those enemies from Gears of War, this little skinny creepy ones that just come charging out of you, and they come charging out of the grates and stuff. They
Oh
kind of look
yeah.
like that, but they explode on impact, so you got to kind of kill them before they get to you. And then there's like floating anomalies that shoot like turret bombs at you and stuff. So the environment's a little more deadly, but there's no more runners. And what you're looking to do is geez, I'm sorry, guys, is you're collecting keys off enemies in order to you can open like these crates, and like that keeps like kind of the loop going back and forth. But what you're looking for is this one single one that gets you into like a compiler-esque fight within Dire Marsh with your crew. And there's like all, you know, you get tons of great loot. Like I built up a bunch of good loot, was able to do actually consistent runs and outposts based off everything I was getting in the PvE mode.
That's
So
pretty
like you
cool.
can fully play it and unlock your contracts. And the cool thing is the PV mode is going to jump over to perimeter pretty soon. So then the whole perimeter map will be PvE, and you can do all your contracts that way and level up. And so it's been a lot of fun. I know that was like a big pain point, was like, you know, it's as fun to do PvP, but like if you get tired of it and want to try something different, now you have that option to go the PvE route. And you go in there with a standard kit. So you know, we all kind of go in there with you know, the white weapons and barely anything, and yeah, you just start building yourself up from scratch and leave, and you get to keep everything you leave with, which is nice as well. So that's been a bunch of fun. So those are kind of the 2 games I'm jumping back and forth between. Hearing that about Marathon, does that give you guys any interest to hop back in and do that PvE mode, or you guys kind of your ship sailed with that game?
Dave, I'll let you go first, brother.
No, I think I definitely want to spend some more time in it. We've talked about it offline that you know, there is just something fun about it, especially when we get all 3 of us on at once. You know, you just can't go wrong playing anything. And seeing like seeing what Bungie put out there, you know, it's not a bad game. It just dipped off for whatever reason, you know. And I want to pull up this image here if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to. Or wait, yeah, here we go. But if we look at these numbers, that's what's disheartening about it. Um, you know, even down here at the bottom, you look back to kind of towards the launch, and it's just gone down, down, down. You see the spike up though. People were jumping back into season 2, which is
Yeah, but
nice
there's
to
also a
see.
free weekend as well, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, they did
Yeah.
offer the free weekend.
Yeah, they extended it an additional week, and then after that, I think that's what you see now is that consistent. It's hard to see
Yeah,
your screen, but I think that's 1700 on there. Um,
24-hour peak. Yeah, 1700
yeah.
or 17,000. Sorry.
What's currently in game right now?
Right now it says 7,314.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like we saw throughout all of the, I don't know if you saw this, Dave, through each of the showcases, people just spamming in the live chats, Destiny 3, Destiny 3, Destiny 3.
Yeah, yeah, I was
So
seeing some of that.
So as across like set like a rebellion out to try to bring Destiny 3. And you gotta respect it. Like I said, like I mean, that's what we all want. You know, like I want a
Yeah.
Destiny 3, and like it's almost like you should I don't know how they could have done it, but I mean, is there a world where Marathon could have just been a game mode within Destiny 2? And you could like kind of put like you know what I mean? Or was that
Well, they could definitely. We saw Call of Duty put out the DMZ mode where it's like they have all these other things. They have the campaign, multiplayer, zombies, but then DMZ or Marathon could have been its own like separate little um, category. And you know, that's the first I've heard that is you saying it, but you know, it does make a lot of sense that they could have done that. I saw those all those comments just blowing up Destiny 3 and you know, it reminds me of like the Star Wars Battlefront 3 demand that people have. You know, it's like crazy that like you can see clear as day that it's like this is what the gamers want. And I know we're going to get into it some of it later in the show, but we see how that nostalgia is hitting to a high level with other things like Zelda, Halo, Gears. But you know, it's interesting. Like the we all grew up with this stuff, and it's a huge bracket. You can look up the stats from gamers, you know, from age 30 to age 39. Like it is a huge market. So for them, you know, bringing back some of these things that people loved, you know, Destiny 3 is definitely a game where you start texting all your friends you used to play with, and it's like, man, hey, I know you're busy, you probably haven't played in a while, but Destiny 3 is coming, you know, and it would pull people back, you
I
know,
know it
like
would pull the three of us back for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
because then we also have a crew to play with, and we can slot. I think it's like what 5-man crews, if I remember correctly, and like for the raids. Sorry, it's been a
Yeah, I think
minute.
so.
Yeah,
I
give or
think,
take. But
Definitely at
anyways,
yeah.
least three. Yeah.
so sorry guys, I'm still fighting this little cold. So if I'm sniffling and stuff, don't get mad at me. But
Oh, you're good. That was me on the episode before I left town.
I know Nick's the only one who's outside but hasn't gotten any allergies. That's fine. Just built different, right? Just kidding. But
Correct.
no, Dave, you but you actually bring up a point I wanted to touch in, and who knows how long we'll stay here. But I was thinking about this a lot today. You know, like I agree with the nostalgia, and I felt it a lot too when we talk about the Nintendo Direct, and you know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but seeing the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time remake and that little flash of Link laying there, and it's like, yeah, I felt it. I felt that nostalgia, and it's like, but it's like, is that what we're gonna get? Like right now, we're getting Gears of War E-Day, which granted is a new experience. Halo Campaign Evolved, which is the game rehashed again. Now we're excited about another remake. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it us being obsessed with this, or like not obsessed, but getting excited for it, buying it, being because I'm going to buy both of these, Campaign Evolved and Ocarina of Time, if I get my Switch too. But are we kind of feeding that? I don't know. You know, I mean, like, is it going to prevent us from getting new things because the safer bets are going to make the most money in comparison? Like, you know, like we saw right now, like we were just talking about it. The safe bet would have been Destiny 3, and it's the smartest. It makes the most sense. Marathon was a new chance, trying to make something new, not a lot of microtransactions, kind of what everyone's been asking for when it comes to not what Bungie did, but when you get a multiplayer game, right? Not a just in your face cosmetic store. And you know, some of the complaints we see is like there's nothing worth buying in the cosmetic store. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
Here's
is
my
it like we
thoughts
can't?
on this if I can jump in
Yeah, I'm kind of
with the
jumping around.
remakes.
You kind of see my thoughts are all kind of like where I'm pushing at. But yeah, go ahead, Stan. Pull it
So,
together.
So with the remakes, here's what I think with it. One, I'm a big fan of a good remake. Like I love a reason to hop into a game that I loved playing and kind of playing it with a fresh paint of coat. Now, fresh coat of paint. But here's where I think the focus of a remake should be. Right, is if they're gonna remake something, right, and I think ultimately what it gets these companies to do, and I don't know if they do it a lot of the times, but it's presenting this old game, and yes, it's nostalgia, but other than that, you put this back on the map. People get back into it. You look at your sales. How many people pick this up? How many new people have now picked it up? And then you say, all right, do we continue with this? Do we add something to this game? Do we, like where I feel Oblivion remastered fell short, right? Where it could have been highly successful is it's a fresh coat of paint. It was great, but we all kind of fell off because we played this before, right? It's great, but why
Yeah.
not drop a DLC, add more to this game that people are coming back and playing, and then say, okay, I made, you know, 10 million sales or whatever it is. Maybe I add the next installment, or I go and make a game that's similar to this, or where's my fan base, what are they liking, what are they enjoying. And I think a lot of the times, you're right, these people, they drop the remakes, it's a big nostalgia pick, but
What's
then
that?
like it goes nowhere with it, or they go to a completely different IP, which is fine, but it's like if your remakes are selling more than your new IPs, then you should probably you know assess what you're developing, I think.
Well, and I think you pulled a really good string there, and and it's the Bethesda string. Um, that's kind of where it was feeling because I actually was looking at like kind of what I want to jump into next. I am staring at 007. It looks like we kind of have a lull until campaign evolved. So that probably will be the game I pick, especially with the disappointing reviews and performance issues on PlayStation for Gothic 1. That's kind
Hmm.
of like prevented me from getting it. But I just saw the other day, and I don't know if it's gotten any better, but a year later, Oblivion is still busted
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, and it's like, and you're
Mm.
right, man. It's and that Bethesda, I think, is like the most notorious, and they're just bad at it because I mean, this was Virtuos to help them, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. Um, but regardless, it's like that doesn't get me excited for the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas remasters or remakes or whatever they're going to brand it, because it's like that's what you delivered with Oblivion, one of both of us and Dave as well, like beloved games. Like it's an amazing world and experience. It's what made us fall in love with that studio, that and Fallout 3 for me personally. And then made us want to go back and check out Daggerfall, Arena, Morrowind, all that stuff, and get more like in depth with this thing. But you not only do you look at the Oblivion thing, and it goes back to what I was saying, the safe bet would have been go Elder Scrolls 6, but you made Starfield. And
Hmm.
it's like Starfield in itself, like, yeah, I played it, I beat it and everything, but it wasn't what I really wanted from them. They kind of went away from what they are. But even with the DLCs that came out with that, when they branded it with I can't remember the name of it. Shattered Space.
Yeah.
With
Shattered
Shattered
Space.
Space, they're like, it's going to be a handcrafted, it's going to be story driven, it's going to be Bethesda through and through, and it sucked. You know what I mean? So that, we're kind of going off on a tangent from my original thing I was bringing up, but it's like that's where I think these studios are kind of getting away from themselves. And I think the one that's kind of like setting the standard of how to do things the right way is Capcom, because you get like the Resident Evil 2 remake, banger.
Hmm.
Then you release Resident Evil Village. Then
Exactly.
it's Resident Evil 4, and I might be getting the cadence off a bit here, remake, banger. Then you get Resident Evil Requiem. And now we're going to get Resident Evil Code Veronica, which I'm sure will be fantastic, which then it'll be either another Resident Evil remake or that Resident Evil 10, whatever that's going to be code named or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's not saying that some studios haven't gotten it right. It's just, it seems like a lot of them, like Halo Studios in itself, right? What what hurts me about them is when you play Halo Infinite or you play Halo 4 or 5, they're good games. They're just not good Halo games, if that makes sense for
Yeah.
me. Like they're fun sci-fi shooters, but they have to like play in this universe where it feels like they don't want to be in it. is how it feels to me. And then you brand yourself Halo Studio, so there goes a chance. Like I would have been happy if 434 would have made 434 343. Sorry,
Yeah.
434 for anyone that knows our childhood zip code. I'm not area codes, so we always got it mixed up. But 343 was I wouldn't have been mad if they would have came up with something brand new. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, like they, like if you would have gotten Halo 4, just that type of game, without everything we knew from Halos 1, 2, 3, and Reach and ODST, I think, you know what I mean? I think
Hmm.
just the game itself, like we can't deny the Infinite was so much fun to play,
Yeah.
you know, but it left us wanting more because we expect more from a Halo game, which again, you know, we're kind of jumping back and forth. So it's like we're making this, not making the studio, but now the studio is solely going to give us campaign evolved. I hope it's fantastic. It looks great from everything we see. But now it's like we're just gonna get Halo 2 remake. We're gonna get the same like, you know, to what Dave was saying. I can't remember, it was a couple episodes ago. Now we're just gonna get these same experiences over again that we've already played before. And
Right.
it's fun to live back in those worlds, but like if you've knocked these out of the park, that's what I wanted from you with a new Halo experience. If that's the route you're going and making a really good story, you're just rehashing the great stories Bungie told. So
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at like Oblivion Remaster, not to go back to it, but it's like, that was one of my favorite all-time games, and I fell off the remake because it's like,
well, you
been
do the
there, done
hits,
that.
right? You
Yeah.
do the hits, you relive it, and me and you talked when we did the Dark Brotherhood mission again, and we did the house, which everyone knows the house is the best and I just finished it, and I was like, okay.
Yep.
But I remember the first
Yeah.
time I did
You
it.
just want to see parts of it.
Yeah, and I remember the first time you did, and you experienced it for the first time. Like, and I feel like that's probably what's going to happen with with Legend of Zelda as well. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
People are going to have fun. It's going to get crazy great ratings. It's going to sell like crazy, I feel like. But it's also going to be like, I think we all will remind ourselves, like, oh, this was an amazing experience back then. Or even like
Yeah.
I replayed it recently, like 4 years ago on the DS. Like, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, we've done it. We've been there. And that's what, like, I just don't want us to get to the point where, like, you kind of see it with Insomniac, and now we'll kind of jump into, the showcases, everything. But now they're going to become the Marvel studio. Now it's Spider-Man and Wolverine, and I don't think you'll see the day of maybe Ratchet and Clank again, or you know what I mean, or other stuff they're
Yeah.
known for. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of doom
Maybe
and
if
gloom with all this good news, and I had to switch it up a little bit there on us. But I don't know.
No, it's good points.
yeah, I think if with this new if this new Spyro does well, that might reignite some, the Banjo Kazooies, Ratchet and Clank, like some of these old, kind of
Platforming
action adventure
mascot game.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well, Dave, you just brought you just made me show my own what's the word I'm looking for where you contradict. Oh, my own contradiction. There you go. Figured it out. When I was the one that got all hyped up when that purple dragon popped on screen. So I'm part of the problem too.
But
So,
it's a new
but that's a new
iteration.
yeah,
experience.
it's a new
Yeah.
experience, and
Yeah.
going to Halo, it like you said, instead of just Oblivion putting out pretty much the same game with a fresh coat of paint, it's like at least Halo is throwing these 3 new missions. So it's like a new
That's a good point.
experience. But then I could
42
easily see
skulls,
like,
new skulls.
yeah, there's a lot of new stuff, but I could easily see like halfway through that game we're kind of like, all right, we know about to face the flood and we know the drill. But hopefully they do kind of alternate like that to the Capcom example with Resident Evil. That is perfect. Of like, all right, give us this Halo 1 remake again, and then give us something new. There's been these rumors about a Halo extraction shooter or the battle royale that, yeah, I guess got canceled, or it's like maybe there is something, and that's the best cadence.
Yeah.
Resident Evil is crushing it with that.
Well, I think you putting it in that term, and I think that maybe that's the key is cadence, because I think what frustrates us so much with Bethesda is like, yeah, we get Oblivion. That what do we get now? And we saw in the showcases, well, we got 76 and ESO updates and a Doom
Yeah.
DLC,
It's
and it's
all
like,
their MMOs that they want to make more money off of, even though the Doom DLC did look sick.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the one because again, it was something new. It was something
Yeah.
new. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, new missions you haven't played yet.
and we've talked about this before, but it goes back. That's what I'm talking about. It's like the cadence. Like we know we're getting. Look, we just played RE9, and it looks like Code Veronica might be coming out next year. I didn't see if there's like an official date, but you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
cadence. But we got Oblivion 2 years ago, and Elder Scrolls 6 was announced in 2018.
Yeah.
Just a reminder. In 2018 is when they showed that trailer to us, and what have we seen since?
That's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
I can't even
Nothing.
believe that number. That 8 years ago.
Yeah, we were all
Yeah.
different people. You know what I mean? We were all
Yeah.
different people 8 years ago, and like, and we could go on this tangent again, but I won't. But that's where my frustration gets. I think Dave, you call the cadence is maybe key because it's like, yeah, campaign
Yeah.
evolved. If it's excellent, it's like, well, that makes me crave something new from you guys.
Right. The
Yes.
nostalgia, something new. Give some nostalgia, then something new. You know. Even kind of Pokemon figured that out. They were doing like all these they'll do like a basically a remake of some of the older games, and they give you something new, and they've had nothing but success. So I think other IPs need to kind of copy that.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna dedicate another episode to Bethesda instead of doing these showcases. I'm just kidding, but no, we'll have some stuff to say about them when we get to the Xbox showcase. But again, everybody, we are coming off of last week and part of this week of a showcase week, and we had a ton of fun. We started everything on my side of the fence, the PlayStation side of the fence, and there's been controversies and a bunch of other things that people are just getting upset about. But we'll kind of go in through and what I heard when we talk about each game and whatever games we don't want to talk about, we'll just kind of skip over. We'll just make mention of them. But the first game that was announced and how Sony kicked off that whole week was with Marvel's Wolverine with a huge. It was about like I would say 10-minute opener with a
Yeah.
ton of fun, very visceral violence. They showed Jean Grey coming in, with the Dark Phoenix, and it seems like with the world's like I guess these death crews are trying to kill gather mutants, get rid of them. Kind of, they've told these stories in the comics before and in the TV shows, and it seems like Wolverine and putting together a team to kind of take him out. But what I heard was instead of going the Spider-Man open world route, it seems like it's a linear experience, which for me I'm actually excited about, and I think that kind of fits better for a Wolverine game. Like I would love just like kind of what we were talking about with RE9, talking about how you guys are playing 007, where it's just a straight
Yeah. Pragmata.
Yeah.
pragmata as well, and kind of like just jumping through that. You know what I just realized? I don't know if you guys want to keep rolling, but we kind of just skipped over because we went to that tangent about what you guys have been playing. Do you guys want to jump into that a little bit forth, or you want to keep riding here into Wolverine?
Yeah. Let's keep rolling. It's all good. I haven't really got many games under my belt, dude. It's just been like the 007 opener, and we'll talk. We can hit that at the
Yeah.
end if we want.
And I've been gone. So
Okay. I just felt bad, everybody. But yeah, going back to Wolverine, we'll cut that part out in our Wolverine tangent.
No, you're good, dude.
I was just like, oh, the claws reminded me of my own betrayal of you two. No,
No.
but yeah, throughout that, it looked like a ton of fun. You kind of see Wolverine's active healing going on throughout the thing, which I called out when we were watching, which I thought was
Mhm.
awesome. Everything about this looked great to me. People were like complaining about the character models kind of looking goofy and everything like that, but that seems to be always the complaint for Insomniac. Like they just can't do character models great or whatever to say. But I thought everything looked good. Maybe I just wasn't looking too deep at it. I did like he had the Leon Kennedy motorcycle moment in that little trailer we saw, and only thing I hate when you kind of watch these things is when you find out like their can't talk to you guys. I'm so sorry. Because we're gonna have to replay that. That's probably part of this probably 10 to 15 hour mode. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's kind of 20 minutes, 10 minutes we've already experienced, but that's kind of just
Yeah.
nitpicking a little bit. But the big news is September 15th. I know I'm super invested in this. I know another gentleman is super invested as it is one of his draft picks. And with how some of these dates have been going around, you two are going to be neck and neck. I am completely
I
out of this
know.
race. So I'm going to be, you know what? I can't play 007 because I probably should just start playing mixtape now and get my review ready because there's no way I'm coming back from this because Judas was a no-show. And Warhammer
Um,
Total War 40K was also a no-show. So we'll just take those 2
oh,
zeros.
yeah.
I'm going to go cry in the corner and start playing some mixtape. But Dave, what'd you feel about Wolverine?
Yeah, I honestly thought it looked better than I expected. Um, this is definitely a title. I told you for years I would watch videos here and there about those Spider-Man games, and that was I almost bought a back in the PlayStation 4 era. I wanted to get in there, but now this Wolverine, that's a game that's like going to convince me to watch prices. You know, I thought it was a great showing. Obviously, I'm gonna go Team Xbox, and I know we'll talk about Gears of War, but to me, it was like between Gears of War and Wolverine for like the trailers that got me the most pumped. Like what it was so graphic, it's so gory, like it looks incredible, and like you talked about, we're in the season of life. We're all three busy guys. It is nice to just sit down and have a game kind of like take you for a ride. Like the reason Crimson Desert kind of fell off for all three of us is
Mhm.
you don't know where to start. You don't know if you're making good progress. The open world games are amazing. I love them, but in this era that we're in, and we're trying to hit a lot of these titles, it is like Resident Evil, Pragmata. Next is 007. I want to go finish that, but it's like it's satisfying. You finish the game, and I could see Wolverine being very satisfying to play through, and it's tempting me to watch. See how prices look for that PlayStation 5.
Smart man, smart man. Don't buy that see-through green box. You need a PlayStation.
So,
Stan, how'd you feel about Wolverine?
dude, the character model things like I don't really understand that. I thought it looked great. Um,
People were saying like, we don't have to get into it. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I
There's
just
people want
and I know people are going to critique things, and we're no different, right? We just critique
it.
some stuff ourselves, but player models to me, it looked fine. The active healing was really cool. When you called that out, man, it was just when you see that's attention to detail, that's staying true to that character, and something that they really didn't have to add in that level, but it makes you feel like you really are Wolverine. So I'm excited for it. Like Dave said, a linear experience um, has where I was always the open world guy. Like we talked about some of my favorite games. Majority of them are all open world, but yeah, I mean he's right. This season of life, dude, it's hard to get into like a major open world game because of the things that Dave said. Are you making the progress? But like Resident Evil and Pragmata, man, that's almost kind of changed my psyche on gaming a little bit because it is great. It takes you for a ride. You know exactly what you should be doing when you have great combat, great mechanics, a cool story, and when you finish it, you do. You're like, man, it's like a nice little box experience where that's done. I did it, and I had a blast while doing it. And I think that Wolverine is definitely going to deliver on that experience. I'm glad to hear that it's not an open world.
Yeah, I found it like as a relief. Honestly, I agree with
Hmm.
you. I was just like, this is gonna be fun. Get to go in it. Hopefully, like I said, probably 10, 15 hour experience, maybe 20, depending on how much they put into it. But I think what I've heard too is this is probably going to lead into what Insomniac's X-Men, which I think will be awesome, and kind of see if that like I don't know maybe ends up being like a co-op, almost like to the days of the what was that game we played, Marvel of
Oh,
Champions?
that game was
It
so good, dude. Where you could pick
was like the
one of
four,
the yeah.
and you can get the synergies of being like the Avengers. I mean, they look up what that name is. Damn, while we jump into the next thing, but
Let's see.
staying in the Marvel realm, the following game that was brought up was Marvel Tocom Fighting Souls, which again, I know you guys aren't jumping into this. I'm not going to jump into it either. I am invested. It is a draft pick. I will just say this. All the characters look great, cool. I like the anime style. My favorite one was Green Goblin. I thought he looked so like I just like that style of him. Kind of had like that reptile vibe from Mortal Kombat. And the Carnage, of course, is always one of my favorites. He's just so unapologetically just this crazy, simple, insane villain. He doesn't need to be anything more than that. So
Yeah.
just turned his hand into an axe and let's just do this thing. But yeah, it was cool, like seeing Magneto and all them, and it makes me interested in it. But I just know if I drop the money, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I just know myself. I'm just not gonna be dedicated. Fighting games aren't really my thing anymore. Last one I
Yeah.
played was probably Mortal Kombat 1, and I had fun with that. But
Was
you
it
guys have
Marvel
anything
Ultimate
on?
Alliance?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Marvel Ultimate
Oh,
Alliance. So maybe they do like their own kind of spin on that. That'd be awesome going back
Oh,
to that because
it's
those
so
games were so
good.
much fun, man. I loved them. But yeah, anything on Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, boys?
No. For me, like I said what I said with it. It's I'm not the big fighting game guy, but it looked super clean. Like you said, man, it's cool seeing Green Goblin. It's cool seeing all the characters. You're gonna have 1,000 different moves and a different play styles with all those different characters, so that makes it cool. And yeah, I think a lot of people will love it, but for me, it's not something I'm gonna pick up.
to me, it goes to the arcade category. The racing games. Like we gave props to Forza, and it's cool. But to me, it's like that's something fun. You show up at an arcade and you have the racing wheel. These fighting games is very similar. I think about those arcade games Chip's got over there behind him. It's like there's certain games it's fun to sit there with a joystick and beat the hell out of the guy next to you. But I'm not one to sit down with the controller and play these. But it looks great. I'm glad people are gonna like it.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
point.
yeah, I mean, it just looks cool. They did great on the aesthetics and everything like that. Following that, though, and this is coming out October 1st, Rayman Legends Retold, as Chip said when we were watching it, just looks like Rayman cross How to Tame Your Dragon.
It
I,
did,
I think
dude.
this game has existed before. I might be kind of speaking out of turn there, but regardless, it looks cool. It might just be a remake of Rayman Legends. Maybe that's why. But I'm not really a Rayman guy. I mean, I played
Yeah.
like it on the Game Boy Advance back in the day, but it looked cool. But I mean, it depends if it's like on. I might jump in, but again, it's coming off a really busy September, and I think it releases at the same time as another game we'll talk about that I am super excited for, and that's No Rest for the Wicked. So I think they're both
Yeah.
October 1st. So actually, after saying that, I'll probably be playing No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah. It's a tough time.
You boys want to talk about Rayman or keep riding?
Let's keep riding. I got nothing to say
This
for the
guy's
Rain
done.
Man.
Yeah.
These next few: Bancho the Chef, Kimiri, Hunt the Unseen. Nothing we're really into. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis, though, we both were really shocked and surprised by how good this game looked. Like this is what I'm talking about. This gave you the nostalgia of the Tomb Raider games. Like the last one I played was on PlayStation 1 and locking the butler in the meat locker, like what we all did, and doing playing at the mansion and stuff. So this comes out next year. So a 2027 game might be a good draft pick for us next year. But this
Yeah.
one, I'm actually really excited about. This might be a day one. But again, I thought it was a day one, but September of this year is
Hmm.
stacked. But now February is starting to get stacked of next year. So, I mean,
Yes.
we'll see where this
Yeah.
lays. But I mean, Fable's obviously the top one for me in February. So it's like, and then, with Persona 4 as well, getting slotted that way. But, Chip, I know you watched it with me, but Dave, did you have a chance to see Tomb Raider? And if you get any like thoughts on it?
Yeah. It takes me all the way back to being at my uncle's house when I was a kid and just watching him play. And it is, February's heating up. Everyone wanted to dodge Grand Theft Auto, it seems like, but now Fable is the has secured a slot for. We'll see what else comes, but I mean that's got Game of the Year written all over it, and maybe Tomb Raider will be something you play before Fable because I think Fable might be a little later in the month. I got to double check the release date, but maybe you could knock out Tomb Raider right before Fable comes out. That's what I might try to do. I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
see because it looks cool, but obviously, Fable's going to take over our lives.
Yeah, after I saw that, like, what was it, like a 35-minute extended preview of like gameplay and the world? I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that. It looks fantastic, man. I really can't. Well, I mean, we'll talk more about it in a little bit, but
Hmm.
another game that is Chips there, his fantasy pick that had absolutely nothing for us here at this showcase, kind of just letting us know it exists, and it's coming out the 29th of October, is Phantom Blade Zero. Trailer looked cool, but we all wanted more. So Chip was probably sitting on some points, or maybe you're not, or I don't know, man. Are you a little concerned they didn't show anything here, or how you feeling?
Um, I don't know. Like a part of me is maybe a little bit, but initially, even when it was announced, and a few months after that, and maybe a half a year, they showed a lot of good gameplay. So I don't know if it was one of those things where they just didn't want to take up the time slot for it, or what it was that they only showed this little tidbit trailer that and my point about it was something that we've seen before. This wasn't even anything new. I've seen that scene of him with the baby fending off the attackers.
Yeah.
So it was kind of strange how it made an appearance. Not really concerned about it dropping because of how much gameplay we have already seen of it. But it's just weird for a game that, for me is super hype. And I think for a lot of people is very hype to, see more about it, that it really didn't get the time of day is what it felt like.
Dave, how'd you feel about it not really having any time, or did you not notice? Because I barely noticed because it was on there for like 10 seconds. I don't think it's coming out. Just kidding.
Yeah, they didn't they didn't give a great spotlight on it, but I don't have much to say because of that. We didn't see that much, but I'm curious to see more because I know that's in our fantasy league. Chip's banking on some big points.
I need it. I need it to come out.
After Persona broke your heart, which we'll talk about in a
I
second. But
did.
a game I jumped over that looked, I thought at first it was going to be a Jurassic Park first person game, but is a first person dinosaur survival horror game called The Lost Wild, not The Lost
Yeah,
World. True Fear is Primal is the full title of the game, and it comes out in 2027. It looked gorgeous, but I think I'm good. I don't want to be jump scared by dinosaurs. I'm okay. I got plenty of that in Requiem, and I'm sure I'll get plenty of that in Code Veronica if we're expecting that next year. So I'll save all of that for then.
what's that?
But following that, you guys are killing me with that. But Dune Awakening, I don't know how excited you guys are about this. This seems like it'd be fun. It'd be fun for all of us to play together. I'm not sure if it's coming to Xbox as well. I think this might be just coming to PlayStation. I know it's a PC game, but it's coming out the 22nd of September. Again, another game slotted in that September realm. So I don't know if it'll probably be lost behind all the other noise going on, but it looks like it'd be
Yeah,
something fun to jump into during a quiet period. But I don't know if I'd spend money on this. I would hope it'd be like a PlayStation Plus game, honestly.
That's the
Um,
game when you watch that, it's going to consume someone's life.
oh, I'm sure it already
It's not
has.
going
You
to be,
build
yeah, it's not going to be
building
me.
bases. You're riding worms. You're having fun.
But there's a guy doing the Arrakis sand walk to and from his fucking computer every day to
To the
play that
fridge.
game. Yeah.
But again, for me, following that was Dynasty Warriors 3. Not really. I'm not really a Muso guy. Though I lied. The one I was excited about, which didn't make it wasn't shown here, was the chicken, or that we saw in that showcase earlier in the year. I wanted to know where he went. Why didn't he show up? Because I would have kind of been hyped to see the chicken again, but no chicken. Well, that's what all I thought about when I was seeing Dynasty Warriors 3. I was like, "Where's the chicken?"
Where's the chicken?
But yeah, I know you guys. We've all played those games. I don't think any of us are gonna be jumping into that. But one game, and I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is coming to Xbox when it comes to the 1.0 release. You can maybe check that out for me, Stanley. But No Rest for the Wicked. This is a huge game I'm excited about from Moon Studios. It's like a Diablo like mixed in with a Souls like, so it kind of has that punishing combat, the rewarding combat, but also in that isometric action RPG. Dave, I don't know if you've gotten the eyes on this, but this will
yeah, I'm
be, and this
looking at
is
it now.
3 to 4 players. We can all jump in together, and this
Yeah,
just looks like it'll be a ton of fun. And this again is like that, but it's a linear. If I say linear one more time, I'm gonna bite my finger off. The just to prove I need to speak it correctly.
So I got some
But it's like,
intel on it too, real quick. Sorry,
all
not
right,
to
let's see.
interrupt.
No, you go ahead and take over, man.
But it will be dropping on PlayStation and PC first, and then it will
Okay.
come to Xbox at a later unspecified date. So I could tell you that's exciting news for me because that game looks super fun, looks clean. It looks like it's going to be a blast.
Well, the good news is I won't have to wait too long for you because it would be after September. Dave will bought his PlayStation to play Wolverine. You would have bought your PlayStation to play Phantom Blade Zero, so we
I'm
don't have to
buying my
wait for the
PlayStation to
Xbox.
play RuneScape Wildlands.
Freaking bot
I
cutting trees
forgot.
for him.
I know he's not
Yeah.
even playing it. He's just sitting there playing on his phone, playing the original while he's playing around. It's just all bots playing for him.
That's right. It's the true way to play RuneScape.
He has ascended. He's gonna look like that guy from Grandma's Boy sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
Dude, a side note, my brother lives in Missouri, but he was in town when I was back in Illinois, and we always, because he used to play a lot of RuneScape too, so we always talk about. He brings up all these old stories. It's always so funny because I usually forget, but he was talking about a guy that I scammed in a RuneScape. Like my brother was sitting over my shoulder watching me, and it was one of those things of like, the guy dropped his armor, and then I picked it up and logged off. We're just sitting there laughing on the couch. It was such a fun time, dude.
Unfortunately for you, Dave, that was me, and I've been waiting all this time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game you could you could pull some swindless stuff on people, and it was
Oh
like our
yeah.
first interaction into that online universe.
The
but
first rats became rats.
so yeah, when you guys all have your PlayStations, we'll all, after a long, busy September, we'll all snuggle in and play some No Rest for the Wicked and snap our controllers in half as we try to beat a boss 45 times.
Yes.
But following that, and it has a demo out that I will play for so we'll talk about next episode. But I hadn't had a chance yet, but Onimusha Way of the Sword will be released 25th of September, another September game. This looks like a ton of fun for me. I played the first two Onimushas. It's been a while, and I don't know if you guys have any experience with them, but they were a ton of fun. Different types of combat, absorbing the orbs, all that kind of stuff. Your typical action hack and slash, dodge, parry, all that stuff. But not more, it's more action oriented more than it is a Souls like, so a little more forgiving, and I believe it has like difficulty settings as well, so it's not like like I said, not as punishing, but still a ton of fun, and everything looks great. The trailer looked great. Kind of showed their version of the devil trigger, where you transform. So any thoughts on this? If you guys do have your PlayStations by then, is this something you want to jump into, or is this like, have you guys ever played an Onimusha game?
I have
Well,
not. It's definitely not something I'd get the PlayStation for. It does look fun. It does look interesting, but for me, a lot of other games would just take precedence because it's just not something that I typically would be a day one for me. Maybe if it's something on sale and nothing else that looked like it was popping, I'd pick it up. But
it shows here it'll be available on PC and Xbox as well.
oh, well, very well.
Oh, I thought it was a PS. Oh, you're right. I did look at that wrong, and it's going to be on Switch too as well. That's right. I don't know why I got that in my head. It's Capcom. They're not
Yeah, I
doing
was
like
gonna
the
say,
console
didn't it show up
exclusive.
in? Didn't they put it in the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah. I don't know. I
saw
got this mixed up in my head with all. Sorry, I got in my head. I had it as Phantom Blade Zero because that's a PlayStation exclusive. So that's why I got a little mixed up. My bad.
Similar
But yeah,
title.
but and the crazy thing is, so that's 25th of September. Following that, on the 24th of September, which I don't think any of us want to jump into because it looks horrifying, but Silent Hill Townfall.
Oh,
That's another first person terrifying survival horror game where I'm just like, I'm good. I got my fill playing as Grace in RE9 this year. So,
yeah.
but again, games on top of each other in September.
Hmm.
Of course, obviously everyone trying to dodge GTA 6 and having their moment in the sun as well. So, but any of you guys got any interest in Silent Hill? Again, this one I do believe is a PlayStation and PC exclusive.
Yeah, I
But
think so.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like again, like I'm sure a bunch of Silent Hill fans are excited. I'm not. I should say that I'm just not because I'm scared of it, and I own my
Yeah,
fear.
I don't know. It's like the whole like scary movies and horror movies. It's just not really my thing in general. Like I'll watch some of them, but I know there's a lot of people who get really into it, and it's like these, like we all said, like the parts where you play as Grace were not as fun, and then we kind of see that coming with, and from what we saw with Resident Evil Veronica, it might be back to some, and it's just like, it's a cool experience, but I'm not like, yeah, I gotta play Silent Hill so I can just be scared, you know.
But some sick people love it. They just
Yeah.
love it. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure it'd be
Follow.
awesome
Oh,
with the speakers turned up and they're on the right
oh,
side. I'm sure it's a great experience, but
Yeah.
there's so much coming out. I'm probably, I'll still be all over Gears of War at that time.
Dave, I'm still crying from the lamp that fell out of the closet in RE9. I'm not
Yeah,
ready to have my this
yeah,
is me walking around with a static radio and faceless nurses powing out of the wall trying to kill him. I just can't do it, dude. I'll cry. I will
yeah,
cry. Uh, but following that, I mean, this looked cool. Again, this is coming out early access the 29th, but coming out officially on the 2nd of October. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thieve, which just looks like a Top Gun Maverick anime, which is like sounds sick, but again, so much other stuff coming out. I don't really want to play a jet game, but what I was telling Nick, if they were smart, they would have had this bad boy ready immediately after Top Gun Maverick came out because I would have bought it. I think a bunch of people would have bought it, and just to pretend, you know what I mean? Like it's so you got
Hmm.
synergy of something like they're not
yeah.
associated, but
Ride the
you kind of
wave.
get that Top Gun vibe immediately from it. They should have done some. This would have been a perfect game with like a collab with Maverick in it or something, or even have the music start off in the top just to get people amped up. But following that was Stuntman Hollywood, which when we were watching the trailer, Dave, I kept calling it every game but what it was. And yeah, Stuntman was a game from back in the day, and I heard some people are super excited about this. This is also going to be on Xbox as well. But do you guys have any interest in playing Stuntman Hollywood? It was cool to see the DeLorean and Knight Rider, but again, not for me either.
No, I mean you made the call initially. You're like, is this Twisted Metal? And I tell you right now, if it was
So
Twisted
excited.
Metal, I'd be excited. But this, not so much, man. I mean, we've talked about it. The racing and I mean, this is a little bit different than like a racing simulator, of course.
Yeah.
But it's just like I feel myself. I'd play it for an hour or two and be like, all right, I got the experience. Get bored.
No, absolutely. And again, looks cool. Explosions, boom, awesome. I would have had a fun with it on an arcade Xbox back in the day, but nowadays we got too much stuff on the plate. And then I didn't see when this one's coming out, but I mean, I'm sure sometime in the future. So hopefully, probably I would fun like slot in like December or something. You know what I mean? After GTA or something.
Yeah.
But what followed after it is kind of this cut from the same cloth as Silent Hill, and it was Ill. And
Oh,
it was disgusting. It
yeah.
looked beautiful and amazing, but it was just absolutely foul. And it made us what, Stan?
Ill.
There it is. But it's coming out
Yeah.
2027. I'll probably pick this up in the draft. I'm gonna, I probably should stop saying that out loud to these two since I'm getting spanked right now. I should probably keep everything a secret and close to the chest. But other than being absolutely disgusted by this, did you guys got anything to say on Ill?
No, dude. It's just I don't know why someone would. It's like watching a Saw movie, I guess. But you know what I mean? It's like for me, I don't want to expose myself to that game.
Yeah, it'd be.
I mean, that's right. Just gonna be grossed out, not feel good. My stomach hurts.
Yeah,
I got it.
I got no interest.
Yeah, you'd be laying in bed just scratching all over yourself.
That's the thing too. It's like in the way we game because of our lives, I'd have to play it at night. And that's like I don't want that to be the last thing I see before bed.
Yeah.
It's just some dude slapping you in the face with his like intestines or something because it was just all gross stuff.
Yeah.
But following that, again, 24th of September. But this one's big. This is the draft pick for old Chip there. Control Resonant. It kind
Okay.
of, everything I've seen so far this game, and this hasn't changed at all. This still looks amazing, looks great, and I'm definitely going to want to jump in. It's just, how am I going to balance all these is what I'm keep thinking to myself with Wolverine, Control, and Onimusha, like all on top of each other. And plus, no, the good thing was they switched their October now, October 29th for Phantom Blade Zero, so they kind of gave themselves some breathing room, which I think is smart. But Stan, did you like everything you're seeing? You feeling confident on some points coming your way?
Yeah, I am, dude. I think this is gonna be some major points when this drops. It's definitely something that if I had the PlayStation, I'd pick it up on drop because it again, this is gonna be a linear experience.
It's on Xbox.
Oh, is it? Damn,
Yeah.
I keep getting confused with all these games. Well, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up for sure because this looks just like up the alley of the Pragmata and the Resident Evil. It's gonna be a linear experience, some cool boss fights. See what's going on in that world. I never played the first one. It looks completely different from how the first one was from the gameplay that I saw. Um, but it looks really fun. Looks really cool. World gets like inverted. The way you can traverse the maps. Um, it seems pretty interesting. I imagine it'll be kind of laid out like Pragmata, where it's linear, but there's open world maps to a degree where it's like sections that you go through.
And that's where like I did like how like and you touched on this a little bit, was like how the world kind of bends and contorts to you and stuff like that. So that'd be kind of cool to traverse through that. And I do think it's goofy as like the Harley Quinn hammer he's kind of got going on, but I can
Yeah,
kind of let that slide. It still looks a lot of fun. It'll be a ton of fun to play. But following that, we kind of talked about this at the top of the day as one of the games I'm playing, but the Marathon Season 2, the only thing I did not mention was the new class. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's kind of like a recon-esque class, also has anti-grenade technology, and I didn't really like playing as it, but I could see where it would be clutch, especially in PvP. You have like kind of a help me out here, guys, when you give away people's locations, but it's like a radar that pops out like that, and you kind of have it clearly on your map instead of opposed to the recon class. It just kind of pings everybody.
lidar.
Thank you. Something similar to that. So it makes it a little bit more clutch. You kind of know where everyone is precisely, and like if you're gonna like basically breach a room and go in there after them, which
Yeah,
is, as you guys know, in that game is super helpful, especially in something like the Cairo. But yeah, that was the only thing additional to add there. Following that was a game that Chip has just stated he is buying his PlayStation 4, and that is RuneScape Dragon Wilds. This looks
yeah.
like a ton of fun for us all to jump in and play together. So I'm down if it comes out. I think this is going to be on PlayStation Plus, Plus Extra, and I'm sure it'll be, if it's coming to Xbox, it'll be on Xbox Game Pass. So when we get some downtime, we should all just revisit our childhoods and jump in. Well, we say our childhoods, Dave. We know Nick's probably already have a level 100.
Yes.
Like 14 of them already in that game. He's
Full
secretly playing it.
99s.
He's playing it right now while we're actually doing the podcast. You can see him.
Yeah, that's why his connection was bad recently. He had like 4 bots running.
The bots are
He's like,
breaking down my computer.
He's like, I don't know what it is, guys. I have no idea. I swear. But I don't know if you guys do this, but 2026 is the 25th anniversary of RuneScape itself. So maybe that's kind of
Wow.
why we're seeing this like jumping over all to the consoles and everything, getting more eyes on it. So I thought that was kind of a cool little note that, the game itself is 25 years old. We all kind of grew up alongside it. So that's, pretty cool to still see it around at different iterations of itself. So do we
Yeah.
and Chip, you might know better than us. Does it play like the traditional RuneScape, or is this a
No,
totally
not at
different type of
all.
game? Okay.
No, it's completely different, and that's why I'm excited about it because ultimately, man, the traditional RuneScape is a hard ask for anyone to play, really, let alone uh, us with our lifestyles. This is really a like Valheim, like a survival game where you you could build a base. You do have the traditional RuneScape skills, like wood cutting and things like that, but it levels up, you know, organically while you're doing base building, or you have really cool exploration. It looks like some good combat. You can kind of go down the class route, it looks like, of how you're going to fight things. So it does seem like something that would be really fun to play with a group of people, and you know definitely way more engaging than how RuneScape classic plays. So to me, it looks like that's what I want, right? And this is kind of circles back to what we talked about at the beginning: is I want the nostalgia of RuneScape in something like this. This is going to be way more engaging. You get to be in that world, you get to experience it, but it's different. It looks really fun, and potentially something that we all play, which would be really cool.
Sorry, I got distracted. You guys might have saw Chip laugh in the middle of his explanation. My corgi's out cold. Just sent them. I couldn't help but send them a photo as I was trying to get something together for the pod. Little inside baseball, everyone. Dave, you can see the picture now too. But a little reprieve from this world. I swear that dude works a freaking full-time job while crashed out he is right now. Look at him. Sorry everybody. Just little snippet of life there, but I would move my camera, but I have it just perfect, and if it collapses, I will cry. And I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge. The next 3 games are like old school games. They're going to become to the PlayStation Classics catalog. Excuse me, and that's Guitar Man, Psyops, The Mind Gate Conspiracy, Onimusha, Dawn of Dreams. Onimusha one I think is a smart move. It's coming in August 2026. Kind of gives everyone a taster before the new one comes out. Kind of get your feet wet if you already have that subscription. Good little synergy there that we keep talking about. And the penultimate to close out the PlayStation Showcase was Until Dawn 2. We saw it. We liked everything we saw. Gorgeous looking game. Looks like a you done it, who done it, Knives Out type of conspiracy game. I really don't care, but it seems like a ton of people do. That's good for them. Again, and not everything's for all of us. I'm not opposed to it, but again, I don't want to spend $60 on or $60-$70 on something that I really don't want to play. You know what I mean? And well, even right now, I'm like hesitant because I'm trying to think about what I want to play next, and even 007, something I'm super excited to want to play. But I'm like, do I want to do it right now? Do I have enough? You know what I mean? Looking at like time and life and stuff like that. But anyways, so just long story short, Until Dawn 2 looks cool. I'm sure a ton of people will have fun with it. It might sneak into my draft. Again, I gotta stop saying stuff out loud. But what do you guys think about Until Dawn 2? I know you guys saw the trailers too. Anything? You guys ever play the first one? That's a good start. I never did, so
Yeah,
not sure if y'all do.
I didn't. I mean, the only thing it means to me is I will steal it from you in the draft. But no, in all seriousness, like, yeah, everything you said, I completely agree with. Like, it did look kind of cool. That's not something I want to play. I thought it was initially Dead Island. Am I thinking of the right game? That was the one where they were on the island and the
Zombies.
the zombies came up and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that one, it's like, I don't know, man. It's this story with the zombies. It'll be cool, I'm sure, and I'm sure people will love it. But I
Well,
don't
Until
know.
Dawn's not with zombies. Is that what you were asking? I'm sorry, did I mishear you? I thought you said you were comparing it to that kind of that style. No, this is more of like there's like a murderer there, and like your decisions can either kill or keep someone alive. It's
Yeah,
that
but
type of
weren't
game. Yeah.
those the zombies that came out when the dude, like the guy that
Nah,
ran
it's
him
just
down the
guys in
island?
masks scaring them, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought they were They looked like zomboys.
Well, in your defense, that's like everyone, when in doubt, put zombies in your game, trying to sell some tickets.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. Uh, for me, it's not something that seems like I really want to play.
Yeah, it looks like falls in that mixtape category of you're kind of making choices, but not a lot of gameplay. Um, it's a playable story, and like I've
Yeah.
always said, I'll throw on a good Netflix documentary or something to go to bed. It's when I play something I want to play, not just
Yeah.
press a button.
I'm sure it'll be a fun game for people to stream and have like their chats go along with them and make
Yep.
decisions and stuff like that. So I mean, it's perfect for that kind of crowd. But So the game that ended this PlayStation showcase has been, I'm sure you guys have seen the 900,000 YouTube videos that have come out about it on people on both sides of the fence, how they're feeling about it. I will say right off the bat, the name is terrible. God of War Laufey.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. But how they introduced it was 20 minutes of gameplay. Realistically, it was about 6 minutes of gameplay with a bunch of typical God of War interactive, walking through the. Can't think right now. We're basically press A to react, although I
Yeah,
can't think of the actual term of it. But
it's like an
a little bit of
interactive cinematic.
yeah, exactly. And but yeah, so I mean, like, if you guys, Faye is Kratos' wife. It kind of starts right after they lay her to rest, and it seems like her journey is going in tandem with Kratos and Atreus's journey. And she wakes up, and as Chip and I are watching the trailer, we're trying to figure out what mythology is it. It looks like it's every type of mythology. I believe she encounters both the Tibetan and the Egyptian gods of war. Also, the gelatinous cube, which people are so mad at. It's played by Jack Quaid, which is hilarious. But for me, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons fan from since as a kid, and so seeing the gelatinous cube, it just makes me laugh. And I get it. It was kind of distracting. She's like in this internal battle with a Tibetan god of war, and then a cube smacks him in the face. It kind of
Yeah.
kind of has like that goofiness to it. Um, let's see, on the good side of things, I felt like the combat looked really good. The game looks gorgeous. Um, and I think Chip and I were kind of in agreement with this, Dave. It's not what we wanted. I wanted another Kratos God of War. Um,
Right.
I'm not mad at it. What I am happy about, though, is it's not a spinoff. They said it is a continuation of the story. So I have like this part of me is, what if we were going to do a continuation story and like a redemption arc? My ideal version of that is, and I saved it for this podcast. I wasn't going to bring it up there and then, but is like, is you played as Thor, and it was just God of Thunder, and you could put it like a God of War story underneath it or something. I don't know, but like play as Thor in the same realm that Faye is in, and kind of his redemption arc, because he kind of felt it at the tail end of it, like like Kratos kind of got through to him right before everything went down the way it went down in Ragnarok, and kind of telling you that Thor is in that area too is kind of a little bit of a spoiler. But that would be kind of my ideal version. Maybe there's like a halfway point where you switch over to him. Like, that I think that'd be kind of sick, kind of mixing it up a little bit. But the cube, she kind of gets like a flying talking sword, which is kind of similar to not it was Freya's brother had some kind of like a similar weapon as well in God of War Ragnarok, if I remember correctly. But I mean, it looks like your quintessential 2018 God of War. Like the over the shoulder combat seems a little more fluid, kind of more reminiscent to the traditional games, where it's a little more aerial, more a little bit more visceral. So that's kind of cool. Um, Another thing I thought was, I like the idea, if like we're in this world where all these gods are, maybe the gods from the original one, the Greek pantheon, are in this realm as well, and you'll encounter them, which would be kind of cool. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I thought it was a really cool. I hate that it was leaked. It would have been a pretty good shock factor. I'm sure we still would have critiqued it the way we critiqued it now, as some people have been, but it looks cool. I'm excited to jump in. It's just like, it's not exactly what I wanted. It's kind of a similar disappointment I felt with God of War Sons of Sparta. Not what I kind of wanted. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like you're feeding me, but it's not the meal I want, but it's good enough where I'm like, okay, but it's like, but I want Kratos, or I want like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you
I
guys
will
think? I mean, they
say,
did allude all the time. I'm sorry, Stan. I got one more thing, and then I'll
very
pass
good.
it on to you, and I'll be quiet. But they did allude throughout Ragnarok that she is a badass, and that her and Thor fought so hard they created a crater. So I mean, they did establish she is a capable fighter, and she did prove said fighting in there. And if like, her full name is Laufey, which I understand why it's put that way, but I don't know. I think it'll be cool. The fighting I saw was great, and I'm talking in circles. Chip, what were you going to say, my friend?
I was gonna say honestly, it's kind of grown on me more after watching the trailer. It is kind of cool to go a different route with it. The combat and the fights in God of War have always been so good.
Hmm.
So, with them opening up to all these different pantheon of gods of war, it sounds like, at least from what we saw, I'm sure there'll be more, excuse me, but just imagine what kind of scenes and fights and enemies and different collectibles and things across the map that makes a God of War game so good that you get to experience. You kind of have this open slate now of what you're going to go with it. Of course, when they were doing the Viking with Ragnarok and so on and so forth, it was really cool, and you got to see all these different things from those mythologies. But they can kind of go any way with this, so I think it's going to be a really, really interesting and fun story with a lot of cool appearances from all these different mythologies. And people hating on Frank the Cube. I thought Frank the Cube is cool. I think, yeah, it's a little distracting in a giant fight, but I
All begins and all ends with the cube.
yeah, I think it's setting the stage though. Like it's going to be your companion through this kind of crazy world of all these different combined mythologies. And it makes sense to have these kind of whimsical characters that are in this world as well, where it's like kind of the end place for all these people. So I think it sets up that companion perfectly, and a little bit of like comedic relief in a game that
Yeah.
typically is very, very serious as you're playing through it. Um, which I think they've always done well, having those little companions to make little quibs throughout to kind of, make you laugh, things like that. And they're going to deliver. It's going to be an amazing game. And you're right, we're not Kratos, but I'm excited to see this side of the story. What happened? What's going on with
Yeah.
this? How is it to play this character? And what does this mean? It's a continuation of the story. That's huge. If it was a
Hmm.
spin-off, I think they'd lose a lot more people because
Yeah.
like, okay, well, don't want to take the time for a spin-off. But if it's a continuation of the story, I'm invested in it, in the story. I want to know what happens next, and I want to know what this leads into, what different things we see from this point of view while the events in Ragnarok are taking place. So,
No, and you make a good point. Do you like that Thor idea, or you think that's too much, kind of going off the deep end?
I mean, I don't think it's too much. There's a potential he makes an appearance, but that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what's so cool about, I think, this concept is it's not out there, right? It could
Yeah.
happen. It could happen. And who else from other games? Zeus, might he show up? You know what I mean? Like they could go so many different routes with this, and I think that's what is really kind of interesting to me is that it has the potential to be. Well, it's going to be a banger regardless. They've always delivered on these games, but it it could be really, really good. So
No,
I
absolutely.
feel like they've kind of, in a lot of the God of War games, which is not a bad thing, but they have siloed themselves to where you kind of know what to expect, and you are amped up to see, like in God of War, the recent ones, like you're excited to see Thor and have that battle, and Odin and have that battle, and all these things. Um, with this one, you kind of don't know who's going to be next around the corner, so
Yeah.
it could,
Well, in like a last few notes, I think the design of that Tibetan God of War was absolutely awesome. It's one of the coolest
yeah.
design characters I've seen in God of War. Also, Frank the Cube, I prefer him over Atreus. And I will say this too. I will say this as well. I would have been more upset if it would have been an Atreus game over. I'd rather play
Agree.
as Faye over Atreus, if I'm being honest.
100% agree.
And lastly, I don't know if you saw this. There's fans that have been making cuts that have connected to the few scenes we've seen to parts in Ragnarok. So we'll see if like it all comes to fruition and how it all plays out. And as if she was Laufey, the one who blew the horn. Yes.
Ah,
See, yeah. So it
yeah.
got me excited. You're right. It has grown on me more. I think like once you get over the initial fact, I think your perspective is great to look at it from that way. Is like you're right. If it was a Kratos game, and let's say it was the Egyptian pantheon, we kind of know where everything's gonna go. There'll be
Yeah.
some great storytelling, and still the great, and everyone laughs at it, but it's still one of the greatest lines in gaming for me is the to grieve deeply is to have loved fully. It's just like it's like come on, man. I went to the gym and just tears in my down my cheeks. I was like, she's right. She's right. And it hit me deep because like I just ran out of pre-workout and I was like, to have loved fully. All right, enough of my meathead dreams. Dave, I know you've kind of listened to Chip and I babble back and forth about some God of War and Laufey. Any thoughts on your end of it? I know you played. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You played the traditional trilogy, but you have not played the 2018 duology, right?
No, I've never played any of them. I've been off.
Oh, you.
I've been off PlayStation for years, but
I
Man.
sense the darkness in your soul.
I was watching some of more of the gameplay while I was listening to you guys talk about it. And it does look like a sick game. But for me, like I'd have to go back and get the original story and all that before I would really, it looks like an awesome game, but it's still not enough to pull me in. Like I said before, Wolverine would be more one to pull me into the PlayStation side than watching this. Watching the gameplay of this, but it looks great. It looks really good graphics and everything.
And I think you just a good way to put the bow on everything now, as Chip will lead us through opening night live. But I would like to get you guys to give me a letter grade of that showcase for me, and I'll start it off. For everything I saw in there, some stuff saying to my taste, other things kind of not so much. But I think for me, it's a solid B plus, solid B plus. Um, Yeah, I think that's a fair grade for me. Like there was not one thing in there that really like got me super amped up, but a lot of things that got me like, oh, I can't wait to play those. So, Chip, what do you give it?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the same thing exactly. I agree with you. B plus. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but could it have been better? Yeah, I think we
Dave?
could say that for most of them.
No.
But we'll
Well,
get into
and I
that.
think Dave. Oh, I'm sorry. I think you had cut out, so I thought you were done. My bad, man.
There you go.
Dave, I think you and I watched the first showcase together earlier this year, and I thought
Yeah.
that one was more hype in comparison. So that's kind of like where I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I know you kind of piecemealed a little bit because you were really busy with everything going on, but
Yeah.
again, where's your grade come from, especially after watching that other one with me live?
Yeah, I think I'd stick with you on the B to B plus range because there's for me a couple good titles, but the rest, a lot of it's not our category of gaming. Some of the fighting games or the horror games. But no, I mean, like I can't say anything bad about any of the games they showed off either. Like it's an awesome year for gaming in general. Great time for us to start this podcast, I think, and a lot of cool things coming. The problem that we have is you can't pause the clock and play all of them. You know, that's the struggle. But it's a good problem to have. Too many games. That's what I've been saying lately. It's like we're never bored. When I do find the time to play, it's like I'm not sitting there wondering what should I play. There's endless things, which is awesome. So I'm really happy for PlayStation. Um, Hopefully these games get great reviews as well.
No, and I think that's a good part to do it like that. And I I was gonna say because we're live, so it's like I was like we can cut this part out. What I was about to say. um, I think we can, but I think we'll lose any relevancy of what's going on if we don't do it now. But I think we can kind of be a little bit quicker, especially with the one you're gonna go through.
All
I
right,
think we'll
that's fair.
kind of be because we kind of like everyone. Hey, we're live. We're talking. We're still new to this. This is professional podcasting. But I mean, we were about 30 minutes for that. Realistically, we did like a 30-minute intro. I think that'll be the same for Xbox. So let's
Mhm.
but anyways, guys, we're just kind of talking in the ether. You guys have no idea what's going on right now. This is your commercial break, your intermission. Hope you
Yeah,
guys
here.
got your popcorn, your drinks. But we went through the showcase. We all kind of agreed to that B plus area, but now Chip is going to lead us through opening night live. And just full disclosure, like 50 plus games were announced. We're going to go relatively quick through them. But Chip, lead the way, my friend.
Yeah, so I didn't watch this. So the list I got will be I'm going to kind of go through of what I see, give some thoughts on my end too. I'm just seeing these names, and I've watched some footage on a couple of the games. But it looks like the first one that was announced was the new Final Fantasy, the Revelation.
You're going in
So,
reverse order, my
oh, am
friend.
I? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So
So
this
that
one's
was
a
the
little
last
reversed
one.
from the last. So a little behind the scenes, everyone. The articles we had, one that frustrated me was
Oh,
like it
yeah.
was the rest of them are all the same. So you'll start from the bottom to the top.
That's
So
right, because I was in the beginning of this before it cut out, and that did it led with Resident Evil Veronica. So I know we've talked a little bit about this, during this live as well. You guys got anything to add with that? It does look interesting. It does look like it's going to be back to kind of like to me it reminded me of Village when I was watching it. You know, it's that first person. It's going to be extremely scary. You lead off with the sketchy old lady in the apartment that's probably cooking people in the back or something horrifying that Capcom came up with. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? You gonna pick this up when it drops? I mean, I don't think you're gonna be Leon in this one.
I've never played original Code Veronica, so I am curious about it. I will say, I just hope it's like in October so I can fully immerse in the spookiness. But just based off of how much Requiem excited me, I think I owe it to Capcom to jump into this one too. So I know it's 2027. So yeah, as of right now, I'll say yes. Revisit me when it does drop and I'm crying and not playing it, and I want to play Dragon Quest instead because it's all happy and, and goofy.
Yeah, or more gameplay footage comes out and we see some of the creatures they put into this. What are you
And the
thinking,
girl
Dave?
makes a return. I'm like, nah,
Oh, yeah,
nope.
that'd be an instant no for me. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I gotta see more. Resident Evil's definitely pulled me into that world. Um, so I gotta assume it's gonna be a great game. Um, but yeah, if it's like a 10-hour experience, go through, play it, definitely.
Next, it looks like we had little Mighty Cuphead adventure, which I never played these Cuphead games, but I know they are highly acclaimed. A lot of people like them. We didn't see too much about this in terms of gameplay, except for um, I guess I don't even know what you would call it, like a Sesame Street type looking Cuphead guy that was the announcer. So I don't know. I mean, we didn't really see too much about it. Have you guys ever played these? I know it's like a platform shooter, is what the actual Cuphead games are. Um, what do you think?
I just, I just heard they're notoriously hard. They look gorgeous, but I don't want to break my controller in half, and I feel like that game is fuel to do so. So I think I'm past that point in my gamer career. Dave, what do you think? Did you ever play the original Cuphead?
No, no, I have no thoughts on it.
He is a Cuphead.
Probably skip over it. You know.
All right. After that was Alien Isolation 2. So I did actually play, um, and we didn't see too much of this. If I remember, my thing was cutting out, but it was like a 2 minute or so trailer, and I did play the original version of this, and it is a survival horror. You're kind of going through. You gotta can't fight the aliens. You gotta stay away from them and try to escape a ship. Was how the first one went down, and this looks like it's going to be pretty similar. Um, for me, I played the first one. I played it for a little bit and then I stopped playing it because you know what I mean. I lost interest because I'm not a big fan of games where you know, at least in Resident Evil 9, like when you're Grace, you have the ability to fight back and kill zombies, and you kind of actually get a little bit powerful with Grace by the end of it. With this game, I just felt super underpowered, and I was hiding the entire game. So, for me, it's probably not going to be something I pick up, but it's probably going to be horrifying to play.
No.
Yeah, thought so. Dave just, I think that's a no from the dead look in his eyes.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was just reading about it.
Moving on was
I'm
one
sure
that
that scene's gonna get clipped from my freaking.
yeah.
Oh, that was disgusting. I apologize. Hopefully my camera's crappy enough you didn't catch that in 4K.
Yeah. Good thing we upped to 1080p. Following that was a game that actually looked really cool.
Oh yeah.
Was Gen Atlas. So these were the creators that made Shadow of the Colossus, which was a really cool game. And now it's here with like these massive robots and all these things. And this game looked really cool from what I saw with it. This will be something that I think I'm going to pick up and just check out because um, you combine all these things in this gameplay and put it together. It actually looks like you climb some of these, and then from what I saw from the trailer, it looks like you almost maybe befriend them, or some of them, work for you, or I don't know how they're going to go with it, but that seems like it could be a really interesting concept and
Mm.
something that would probably be a really cool experience. Um, what do you guys think about it? What do you think when you saw it?
I mean, it hankered right back to the Shadow of Colossus. You saw all that DNA in there immediately. And I'm a sucker for mechs in video games. That's why I always love like the Titanfall games. So like if there's like a mixture of that, it looked like a little more gameplay heavier than the traditional Shadow of the Colossus. So I think you're right there. I think it's a recipe for a ton of fun, and it's definitely something I'll pick up for sure. And I'm hoping maybe it's a 27 game. They didn't really give a date, so maybe 27, 28. So we'll see.
Mr. Dave?
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks like a nice, like a world you just kind of get lost in, and maybe some slower elements too. But then hopefully, some intense gameplay as well. Some of these scenes, it looks pretty crazy. I'm definitely curious to see more, and I'll probably try to play it.
All right. After that was Blood Message, and I think before my thing cut out when we were watching this, uh, me and Stan made the comment that this does look cool, but it feels like this genre is so saturated right now when you think
Uh-huh.
about all the games coming out within this realm of like Eastern samurai type
Yeah,
games, and which it's those are great and those are fun, and I love that history, to be honest with you.
this looks like a lot of big battles though.
Yeah, so it does look like it may go a little bit different, but I wonder if gamers are just going to be a little bit burnt out on um we got some big titles coming out that are already kind of in this genre, and so this one kind of might take a back seat, I think, in my opinion, because people are going to give precedence to the other stuff going out. But not to say it looks bad or anything. I just that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think?
I think you touched on something. I think we both agreed. You're right. I think if this is a 27 game, or a 28, I would probably reckon it's a 27 game because it's NetEase. But I mean, you're right. Maybe there is so much fatigue because it's going to be Phantom Blade Zero, Onimusha, Way of the Sword. Again, all different styles of game, but kind of following that same format, and whatever else might come out that I might have failed to mention right now. But there could be a fatigue by then. But Dave makes a great point too. Maybe it kind of has like that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 big battle combat in there, where you kind of, or even a little deep cut like the Lord of the Rings Two Towers game where you're fighting through Helm's Deep or something along those lines.
Hmm.
That'd be kind of fun. I remember having a ton of fun doing that. So I think wait and see is probably the best thing for this. But I do agree that it does feel a little oversaturated, and it kind of like it's kind of blending together just the similar art styles and stuff like that. Inspirations, I should say.
Yeah. Anything else you had on it, Dave?
No, I mean, to me, it pulls my attention even more than Shadow Blade Zero, because I like games like that where it's a big battle going on. You get into a little one-on-one combat, but there's thousands of people around you fighting. Just
Yeah.
looks cool.
I mean, it
After,
definitely looks better than Phantom Blade. Phantom Blade's probably going to be like a 60 or something on
oh,
Metacritic.
dude, that's your copium coming through.
Like,
Um,
well, I'm already out of it, baby. So I don't know what to say.
After that was probably the most confusing game to for me. I don't understand. I don't understand what it is, but the biggest hits I think was Tupac and Snoop Dogg being in the game, which is pretty cool. But called Stranger Than Heaven. It sounds like you play a character that goes to Japan from somewhere in Asia, and it looked like there was a couple, maybe gang type people that you're coming up with, and I don't know if you guys have seen more about what this game is supposed to be about, but I imagine, bracing the mean streets of Japan and kind of seeing the underbelly of that city. Um, but
I mean, I would assume it follows the same as like because it's Yakuza developer RGG Studio, so maybe like the traditional Yakuza games to beat them up.
yeah,
But like you said,
exactly.
it's
That's
very
probably exactly
confusing.
what it
Like,
is.
well, it's like you're not wrong. It's January 15th, 2027. So I mean, it's a 27 game, which is smart. Kind of get out of this September vibe because I think this one would definitely got lost in the sauce, in my opinion. But like just how that Tupac, the Snoop Dogg thing. I mean, cool. Snoop Dogg doesn't bother me as much because I feel like he's in everything. But like
Yeah,
just slinging Tupac in the game was kind of just like okay, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
it was just I don't know. It was just odd, but maybe we'll be proven foolish and it's amazing and like he just has a good move set if you get to play as him. That'd be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. It's just that I like the Like a Dragon part because it's turn based RPG versions of the Yakuza games. I'm not
yeah.
really a traditional Yakuza fan, so not really a expert on these games.
30 Dave.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think just having those names in it alone is gonna draw a lot of interest, and it seems like it's gonna be that first game of 2027 that this past year we had Mio, and we both jumped into that just because we were looking for something new. So this could be that game. All we fly through GTA, get that kind of out of our system, and it's like, oh, this is dropping middle of January to get things started for 2027. I could see us maybe trying it out, depending what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Next game that dropped was Hakes, which a certified cube runner game that this one I definitely have no idea what is happening. Looks like a whole bunch of different things going on, some crazy looking creatures. Uh, some the maps look strange and all these things. So yeah, I don't even know if you guys have anything to say about this one. I know it is from the developers behind the Division, which is a completely different style game, but yeah, I don't even know what this game is. But to me, and like I said, if you guys have anything on it, the one thing that was kind of strange is you have like a shotgun. It looked like it kind of looks to me like it's the combat's unfinished. Like that's just how it looks to me. Like it's gonna be this kind of survival, and the combat's like a second thought in this game, and maybe more about like puzzle solving and survival.
Yeah. I mean, and just from like the trailer and what you see, at least I see like guns and stuff. So if it kind of ends up being Division like more than it's kind of giving off, but like you said, it's kind of hard to tell what the hell is going on, really. You know what I mean? But yeah, I expect it in 2027. We'll see. Maybe it'll be something that we all want to jump in together and play. Like it is a Division, and we'll have a ton of fun. But this one's a definitely show me some more. I'll probably see more of it like at the Game Awards or something. So yeah, wait
Yeah,
and see.
Yeah, I keep in the footage you see three people running around. It looks like so maybe it'll be something calling us in a three-player co-op little experience we could try and figure out. It looks like puzzles mixed with combat. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be something fun for a shorter window.
The next one that came out, which I know is big news to some people, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
Dude, I was
Which-
so fucking hyped. Sorry.
Are you?
Dude, you guys ever read The Last Ronin?
No, dude. I just
No, don't
not a big,
stop
not
whatever
a
you're
big
doing right
turtle
there.
guy.
Yeah, of course you're not. Okay. But you should be because they're green and Xbox is green. But no, dude, you guys got to do yourself a favor and read The Last Ronin. It's not your typical what you're thinking when you think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is one of the most gritty. It's such a, and I won't like give anything away, or like, but what? So essentially, what it is, it's a revenge story. Only one of the turtles is alive. The other ones have died, and you are on a path of vengeance to redeem yourself
Okay,
and for what
that
you've done.
does sound pretty sick.
I won't say which one it is, but like when you the reveals of that and who you find out you are and why you're doing this and how everything happened and it's like you wouldn't expect it from you know what I mean. It's the TMNT version of the turtles, so it's and that's kind of like the what you read on the back if you bought the comic. It's a comic, so that's yeah like that. I
Okay.
have the digital version. I don't know if I can share the digital version, but if I can, I'll send it over to you guys. But it's it was a cool read, man. Like I was hearing the Finding Duke guys were talking about this all the time. And it's just you know what I mean. It was. I mean, like you saw how amped up I got. That's kind of like the last thing we saw before everything went to hell on our stream. But
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. I think Platinum Games is the right one for this. They did make, I think it was a Turtles game back. It was like Mutants of Manhattan or something along those lines. That was very good, but they are a totally different studio from what they were then to what they are now. They're coming off of Near Automata, Ninja Gaiden 4. I think they will do this game justice, and I cannot wait to see what they end up developing. And I think you guys are going to be kind of shocked. And if you end up not reading it, at least kind of read a synopsis of what that story entails and everything that happens. It's damn good, man. And and you guys, I feel like you relate to it because I think we all relate to it because he's dealing with like the psychosis that comes with that grief and that loss. And it's very like it's a lot deeper than you think. It is kind of goofy. He sees like this big old swole turtle kind of talking about those things, but
uh,
it's pretty awesome,
It
man.
definitely sounds more interesting than
Yeah.
I initially face value have given it credit for. So that has actually ignited some hype in me to check this out. But you know, ultimately you're gonna like it because it has Master Splinter in it, and the rat you are is connected to that. So
I can't help myself.
uh, after that, well, and we'll kind of skip through a couple of these, but I
Yeah.
know you did talk about some mechs, so I wanted to get your thoughts. I didn't see it, didn't watch the trailer, but Gundam Rogue Orbit, what'd you think about that?
It's been a minute since I've seen a Gundam anime, honestly. It looks cool. Like I said, I'm a geek for mechs. I, I don't know. Honestly, I would have to look more into it. I didn't for this one. I kind of like skipped over. We were looking through all these things. So, but I mean, I will just say this: cool name, Bandai Namco. I'm sure it'll be a fun little game. It's out in 2027. So once I see a little bit more, maybe. But like not as amped up as I thought I'd be about it.
All right. Dave, anything on that one?
No, nothing major. It looks like it'd be fun to try out, but
All right. Next one, I think we should talk about this one too, is Crossfire, because it's kind of coming into this, looks like this is mostly third person, but a single player story driven game, um, which is from former Call of Duty developers. Um, this one actually, I mean, it looks pretty cool. Looks a little different. Looks like it's got good gunplay. The fighting that's going on in it. This might be something that I would pick up just to go through a single player experience and not get entrenched in the multiplayer, version of gunfighting. It's kind of refreshing to see a kind of modern gunplay but single player focused game. So I think it's kind of interesting.
For me, I didn't really. It is what it is. Dave, how about you? Sorry, I just didn't have much on. I see where you're coming from, but like maybe I'll be
Yeah,
proved wrong. I'm just kind of like former Call of Duty developers. I will say this. I love the idea of it being single player story driven. So maybe I will be proven wrong, but it didn't really get me too amped up.
yeah,
Yeah, it seems. I mean, I hope it's not just one single player because looking at it's like seems to be these two main characters, and it looks like the perfect opportunity to be kind of like an army of two style, like two-player co-op, which would make it 10 times better in my opinion.
yeah,
But it's interesting. Call of Duty developers, for there was a long period of time they had great Call of Duty campaigns, and they kind of just fell off over the years. Seemed more of like an afterthought rather than kind of the, you know, just as important as multiplayer. So I'll keep my eye on that one.
All right. The next one, there's a couple different ones. We'll kind of skip over these. Guild Wars 3. I mean, it's that it is a big MMO that's coming to PC and PS5. No mention of Xbox. They're going to do a beta test, so I think more will come with that. The trailer didn't really show anything. Um,
I was a little
Virtual,
shocked to see that, honestly.
I was too. I mean, it's rare. I mean, Bethesda's really been the only one that's dropping MMOs to console,
Console.
and especially Guild Wars. I did play it
I
growing
built
up.
Guild Wars 2 back in the day, and I was still in the army. I can't remember. I think it came out in 2012. So
Yeah,
sorry, but yeah, we can keep rolling. But I just thought I was a little shocked to see it.
yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing to bring over that complexity to a controller. Um, but yeah, Virtua Fighter Crossroads. You know,
Just crazy to see this come back. Virtua Fighter from back in I believe the Sega days. I was never a big Virtua Fighter guy, but I'm sure people are losing their minds over it.
yeah,
Guaranteed.
people get the hype for seeing something come back. But yeah, for me, like I never played, so this is something that it's like I watched it, and I was like, yeah, okay.
It was cool. Like it was very story heavy, which I wasn't expecting in comparison to the other fighting games we've been seeing. So it was kind of a different take on it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Sounds like RuneScape. We already talked about this, but I guess that showed up in this as well.
Yeah, it showed up in like everything, dude. It's good. It's 25th anniversary, baby. It's spending that marketing money.
Yeah, they're doing a story expansion for Mafia Old Country. I played the old school Mafias. I never played the Old Country. Um,
Heard a
but
bunch of good things. Never jumped in myself either.
yeah, it's
Dave,
kind
were
of
you a mafia guy? I feel like that's right up your alley.
I never played them, but I watched an old roommate of mine play through some of them. It always looked really fun. It looked, a lot of Grand Theft Auto elements. It seemed, but no, I never played it myself.
after that was 1666 Amsterdam. It says dark third person story led action adventure game. It's free to download on the Steam store and Epic Games store. Console versions are planned for a later date. Don't even have a trailer. It looks like it was just some screenshots and they talked about it.
It looks kind of cool. I mean, it looks kind of like I don't know if it's going to be another like kind of Souls like esque game, but yeah, I guess
Okay.
like we'll just probably just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Cool name though, creepy name.
Yeah. It's like the Claire Obscure is what it makes me think about. Something like that.
And boys, I was thinking as we are like, because realistically, we kind of touched on a bunch of things here, but I think what if you don't mind, Stan, I think we can hit like probably I think the big ones we're most excited about are Star Wars, The Blood
Mm-hmm.
of Dawn Walker, and probably honestly the last thing on here is what ended the thing. So you
Yeah.
guys want to talk about those two and then we can kind of talk about the big finale?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Um, so let's start with Star Wars Zero Company. This looks sick. So I was extremely excited about it. And the first I heard about this was from you, actually. We talked about it, and you said it was like this XCOM style gameplay, which I never played those games, but I know what they are and how they play. And to have this in a Star Wars universe where the footage of it looks very sick. Anakin Skywalker makes an appearance.
Oh, I lost it, dude. I jumped up as hard as I jumped up for the Ronin. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Yeah. And dude, this looks like it is going to be a ton of fun. I've really started to fall in love with this gameplay style of, I don't even know
A
what you'd really
tactical
call it. Yeah,
RPG.
tactical
Yeah.
RPG. And to have it in this realm, looks like there's character creation, a lot of different characters to choose from. You just think about all the different, you know, I guess you'd call them classes that you
Mhm.
play in Star Wars, with a bounty hunter, a Jedi, um, the droids, all these different things, and thinking about how cool of a party you could create to go through this game. It's right up my alley, man. I can't wait for this to drop. What are you
What makes
guys
it
thinking?
fun too, man, is like I don't know if you guys played the XCOM games, but it has the permadeath feature. So like you can build up your squad and like let's say you name them Chris and Dave, and you make me the bounty hunter, Dave's Jedi, and we end up getting ambushed and we both die. That's it. Like then you have to
Oh,
make 2 new units to replace us and hire people and but you can customize them fully, you can make them look any way you want. So if they're following that same line as XCOM, it's gonna be a really interactive, fun game, man. But it has those stakes where you're like, you gotta play your moves smart. You don't wanna just rush because then like you can lose your boys. it's
yeah.
it's heartbreaking. You build like this strong team and like you do like a bunch of missions with them and then you just get sniped. You're just like, no.
Yeah, I like when games do
Anakin.
that. Yeah. I like when games do that, man. It does set the stakes just a little bit higher. And a lot of the times, these tactical RPGs, they're unforgiving too, man. You get false confidence when you win a couple fights.
Boulder's Gate would do that all the time, get you
Yeah.
nice and comfortable, and then just absolutely smack you in the mouth.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave? Do you see this footage?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to jump in anything Star Wars, and it looks great, honestly. Um, I can't say any games I've really played this style before, but I think it'd be definitely something that interests me. I like it. I like a little strategy element, something you're not like spamming buttons over and over. You can just kind of sit back, make your choices, and see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Um, Going into the next one, unless anybody has anything else to say on this.
Mm-mm.
Is Blood of the Dawn Walker, which is, we've seen a lot of different footage now with these releases about this game. Um, which really, I think this is the first time we saw the actual combat. Before it was really cinematic trailers, but developers that made Witcher 3, looks like really cool cinematics, really cool characters, kind of vampire tale where don't I don't want to be mistaken with this, but you are a vampire, but you're kind of working on the side of good and maybe have to still deal with those traits in the game. But I imagine if the people that made Witcher 3 go this route with it, this is going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, this is my draft. I'm hoping this is what saves me, gets the perfect score. Brings me from the ashes. But though you kind of you touched on it a little bit, right? So well, the concepts what I've built from the trailers I've seen, I haven't read like a full synopsis, but essentially it's like I believe you and your sister, and you have to make a choice that these vampires save you. You kind of join them, and then you're kind of fighting both against your humanity and the vampiric side of yourself and it's timed. Like you have to beat the game in a certain amount of time, so it kind of harkens back to the Majora's Mask kind of days.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
what I thought was a cool twist too is they kind of opened up with it. I don't know if you guys caught this modern day. And so it's like, is this like a prequel leading to that? Are you jumping back and forth in time? Is there like that kind of element in it now too, where maybe the time is a little bit more important than we thought? But yeah, he's like, you're like in street clothes. You get into a fight. Next thing you know, you're back in like the medieval times. So I thought that was a really cool twist and kind of throwing it out. Some people seem disappointed by it, but I'm like, I mean, you guys got to let the Witcher 3 developers cook, man. If there's
Yes.
a lot of veterans from that thing, you gotta let them deliver what they've come up with, because I'm sure it's something great. And until they prove us wrong, I feel like that's the way we got to ride with it, and that's how I'm feeling. So
100%.
Yeah, it looks cool in that gameplay trailer. It's like seems like things kind of shift at night. Like maybe you have different abilities once the moon comes out, and the day night cycle might kind of affect your abilities in combat. That's kind of what it looks like, but I'd have to see more.
yeah, I'm
All
hoping
right.
it plays. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys played. I just forgot the name of it, but it's like it was kind of like you said, like a base builder survival game, but you're a vampire. And one cool thing about it was like the sunlight would burn you, so you'd have to like fight enemies and jump between the shadows of the
Oh,
trees and stuff
yeah.
like that.
no, that's
So that
pretty
might be
cool.
maybe a cool thing they take from that game. I guess it wouldn't be
Okay.
from that game. I guess it's just vampirical lore in itself, but
That's fair. All right, Stanny. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this one, but I'm gonna let you take the mantle because this is your bread and butter. But Final Fantasy Revelation came out, and I'm not a Final Fantasy buff myself, but I believe I saw some footage of Cloud. Is he in this one?
you just pissed off the entire internet stand. No, yeah, these are
Hey, I led with I'm not knowledge to this.
you did. You prepped. That's
Yeah.
smart. So this is the finale of the remakes of Final Fantasy VII. They broke into a 3-part series, and this is the finale of it. And what makes it cool is I played the original Final Fantasy VII. These ones are almost like, and I want to, it's too much of a spoiler, but
Okay.
so they are their own unique experience, but within the same timeline, and kind of the same events are happening, is where I'll leave it at, kind of in that way. The combat's completely different. It's more action focused. They've kind of mastered the fusion of action and turn based. Where like you kind of go in there sword swinging, but then you can pause, choose your ability, do an ability, stuff like that. So it's like real time paused action, turn based combat, and you're switching between enemies. You're working with your teammates. So I got to go back and finish the first one again. I want to play through the second one as well. Before, I was probably gonna do it this summer, because I didn't get as much. I went through it pretty golden pathy, so I really want to spend some time with it. You know what I mean? And reorient myself in preparation for this. But I mean, anyone that played the original knows that like this is big. Like you get the high wind, you can like use your airship and travel the world. It feels like it's finally gonna open it completely full to you, and it's like the big finale, man. Like you're kind of like, and then like my favorite character in Final Fantasy VII, and it always has been, is not Cloud. To some people's surprise, it's Vincent Valentine, who is just a badass vampiric sick character that has to change into different monsters, uses those dual pistols. He's just a sick character and a cool character design. I know you guys might not be Final Fantasy fans, but if you go ahead and Google Vincent Valentine, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like your typical vampiric edgelord, and you're like, it's cool, especially when we were back in kids when he came out, and that was like the really like, you know what I mean, like that kind of era of music and dress and skater kind of stuff. So it kind of gives you
Yeah.
that whole vibe. But it all
Yeah.
kind of like you're racing against stopping Meteor, the ultimate like the ultimate magic, and kind of stopping it from destroying the quintessentially you got a battle god, and it's gonna be that kind of stuff. So it'll be a ton of fun. I'm excited to see it. They've done excellent so far, and I mean, like, it's on Xbox now. I think you guys could do yourself a service and play them. They're on sale and everything like that, but play through that first one. I think I know when you hear Final Fantasy, it kind of turns you off from a little bit, but it's not as turn based as you might think, Stan. And it's not like Final Fantasy 16 either. It's
Okay.
like, I tell you, it's like the perfect balance. And I think you guys would enjoy it. It's a great story, a lot of ton of fun, and you don't need to have played the original to play these ones.
Okay.
So that's a good little note for y'all to have as well. So, but all in all, for this and for the entire showcase in itself, and ending with that, and seeing Blood of Dawnwalker, Veronin, this one I hit like an A- for me, honestly. Like it was B plus A-, but a little bit higher than that State of Play with Sony for sure, just because it spoke more to my, like nostalgia roots, seeing Zero Company, that, I just, what was that name of that game for the Shadow Colossus people? We talk about so many video games back to back right now, but seeing that, again, seeing Last Ronin and then ending with Final Gen Atlas, excuse me, seeing Gen Atlas and stuff like that. So, and Resident Evil Code Veronica kind of speaks for itself. Out of all the survival horror stuff we've seen, that's the kind of the one. If I have to play one, have to quote unquote, that would be the one I pick. So, yeah, A- for opening night live. Great show. A little long. It's 2 hours in comparison to the Sony, but you did a great job, Sam, running us through that. How did you feel about it?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, I mean, if I had to give it an overall, I didn't see all of them. Obviously, I was having a lot of issues with it, but I did watch a lot of it after the fact. I'd say probably for me a B, just because there was a lot of games that I'm maybe not too excited about or that don't speak to me as much. But there was some that did look really cool that I do want to pick up. And I will say I am excited to see what they do with Guild Wars 3 and pop that in there. You've built my excitement for the last Ronin, so you know, yeah, I think it'll be good. Gen Atlas again, that'll be an awesome one, I'm sure. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with Resident Evil Veronica. It's to get back into a survival horror, that will be the one out of all the ones that are coming out. So I give it a solid B, maybe B minus, just because it didn't speak too much to me.
No,
But
that's fair. That's fair. Dave, how about you? I know that you're kind of looking through those trailers probably for the first time, especially coming back. How'd you feel about that one in comparison, at least to Sony so far?
Yeah, I still say I'll stick with that B plus. It's great. All these
mm,
games look like a ton of fun. Um, but I was waiting for those heavy hitter moments of like, okay, this is what I'm going to be playing. It's hard. I'm not trying to be a stickler either. I could probably give all these shows A. It's all games that
Yeah.
look fun. If I had all the time in the world, or if I could pause the clock, I'd play all of them. But it's like I said, it's a great year for gaming. No, I'm excited.
No, I mean you're right. Like it gets down to nitpicky, and like what I mean. It's like to our taste and everything like that. And
Right.
everyone, like we said, we were watching those showcases and we came back together to kind of discuss all of them. And we really wanted to go, especially for the Sony one and for opening night live, we wanted to go game by game just because it was the first time the three of us have seen them together. We, but a little behind the scenes, we've already fully talked about the Nintendo and the Xbox ones. But so we kind of narrowed these ones down a little bit more for you guys. So just know that there was a ton of games announced, obviously, in the Xbox One and Nintendo. But we're going to hit Nintendo first and kind of close out with Xbox. I think that's the best way to go about this. But for Nintendo, there's only really 3 games between the 3 of us, which is hilarious, that we were actually really excited about. For me personally, and for Nick's, for Chip's fantasy league, was Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave. And that one looked just, for any Fire Emblem fans, looks excellent. Looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to play. You kind of choose between 4 protagonists. Immediately going for the swordsman. It looks exactly like the guy from Metaphor Rue Fantasio. So again, if you've played Fire Emblem, you know them. Those boys aren't going to say anything about it except Nick wants those sweet little points. It's going to get them. But followed by 2 games that we're all 3 of us are super excited about and have deep histories with is first off getting that announcement, and actually it's the second time we've all seen this, but it's kind of getting a little bit more gameplay and seeing like a more realistic version, as silly as that might sound. Kingdom Hearts 4 made its debut at the Nintendo Direct this week, and I keep saying debut, but you guys don't mean its second appearance. Looked amazing. Didn't really give us a date. I feel like it should be maybe next year at maybe early 28. But again, I can't wait for this. It'll be a nice little blast from the past. I've played all of them. I kind of fell off Kingdom Hearts 3 in all transparency, but this one looked more up my alley, more mature. And like, yeah, it still showed Donald and Goofy, but Sora's feet were normal size. So that's a step in the right direction for me.
yeah.
As that was always like, Chip would always make fun of me. He's like, you're playing the guy with the key and the giant feet. I'm like, hey, watch yourself. with Sora. He's the Keyblade master. But
Yeah.
boys, how did I'll start with you, Dave, because I know you kind of share the same love I have and the same nostalgia of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat where makes me want to go back and complete Kingdom Hearts 3 because that was the first big one that dropped for Xbox, and then I know they around the same time or shortly after they dropped like kind of the collections with some of the older games over to Xbox, but no, it definitely got me excited. Um, we've talked in previous episodes of some of the childhood nostalgia playing on PlayStation 2. They're phenomenal games. I can only imagine what they can put out now in this modern era. And yeah, I'm with you. I hope it's more of the not hardcore to where it's like super difficult, but just more of the mature elements. I don't want to jump back into like the Frozen movie or some of the really to me they have great Disney crossovers when it comes to like the Hercules or you know even Tarzan, like some of the worlds where it really works. But then when they go to some of the really, I would say I got two daughters now, so I would say like the girly movies or like the really childish movies. It's like some of those. That's kind of where I start to fall off. But but no, I think I'll definitely be playing this one when it comes out, and probably going back at some point if time allows us to play through Kingdom Hearts 3, because I feel like I didn't really give that one um, its due diligence.
If you do, I'll do it at the same time, and we can kind of go
Yeah.
through that journey together. Because yeah, I'm the same way. I tried to, and I kind of just fell off. Just wasn't hitting that same magic. Maybe just wasn't in the right mood for it. Chip, I don't want to hear anything you have to say about Kingdom Hearts 4, so go straight into Zelda Ocarina of Time. And again, we'll still give a full letter grade because we've seen it all, we read it all, we looked through it all, but we figured for sake of time, we and because we kind of had these discussions before we got even into the show. But what do you feel about Ocarina of Time, Stan? Don't you speak ill of Sora or
I wasn't gonna speak ill. I do agree with everything you both said about it, and I did pick up three and never finished it as well. So I'm in the exact same boat as y'all. But Ocarina of Time, I know we didn't see much, but it's exciting. That's for me. That was really. I remember when I first bought that game at GameStop. Like you know, as a kid, like it's like a childhood game, man. One of the OGs for sure. One of my favorite Zelda games to this day. So I'm excited. It was just kind of a little cinematic trailer that we saw, but and we had that discussion about remasters at the beginning of this, but ultimately this will be one that I pick up. I know I will, and it's will convince me to get the Switch 2 and spend the money on it. If they drop a special edition Triforce Switch 2, I will buy it. They got me good.
Yeah, it's a great point because I'm in the same boat. If they do drop that, I will spend the money on it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't need to repeat everything you just said. Is all the same reasons why I'm excited for it. I'll definitely, if I have the Switch 2 by then, if they have the special, then I will have it and I will play the game as well. Dave, I know you're in the same boat as all of us, except you already have the required hardware to play this when it drops.
Yeah. Um, but like I told you guys, the behind every smiling woman is a broken man. So I'm probably gonna have to fork out some more money, and I'll take the old dusty Switch 2 that we just bought. No, no, I mean we'll see. Like, I mean, there's videos out there. People were in tears seeing this pop up on the screen. And now my questions are, though, if it said a 2026 release, no date is given though, and they barely showed 10 seconds of a little intro. I'm wondering why wasn't maybe there'll be some big event later in the year where they show a lot more. But
I have a, I have a, I have an idea. Tell me what you think of this.
what do you
It's at
think?
the it's at the Game Awards and it's shadow dropped.
Oh, that,
Mm.
that could be the case because I'm wondering. We're almost. or what, about halfway through June. I'm like, you know, how can you say a game like you just announced a game for the first time and not give a date, but it's supposed to be this year?
Yeah.
Um, it'll be interesting. Yeah, it could be a big shadow drop. Um, but yeah, this will change. You know, this will sell Switch 2 consoles like crazy. And it's an interesting discussion because it really stole the show for me with the Nintendo Direct and all these other titles they have coming out. I'm like, no real interest. I mean, Star Fox right around the corner. You know, this is obviously this is a console seller, um, and it'll be all over the internet. It's kind of up there with like a Grand Theft Auto launch, like a Zelda launch, or even if it's I mean, a remake might arguably be bigger than a new title. Um,
Mm.
we'll see what they come up with. I hope they add some new stuff though, like we talked about early in the show with Halo. You know, like, give us the nostalgia, what we know and love. But what else can you throw in there that kind of fits with the story? Some bonus missions, something, I don't know. Um, we'll have to see. Maybe a new area to explore. I don't know. I'm sure they'll surprise us with something though.
You
And
would
I'm
hope, or Nintendo would just laugh at us because we bought the same thing again.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could
but
be.
for But for this one, I think letter grade's a little hard because there's only really 3 games we were really interested in. So I don't think it's fair for us to rate Nintendo. But I mean, we're excited for. I mean, at least excited for those things and some of the other things I saw, like Donkey Kong Bonanza having like a Mario esque like timed event going on. So I don't know. I know you picked up the game; might be worth looking at,
Yeah,
but yeah, we know we guys we're running on fumes here. All of us are coming off of trips and work and all that stuff, and all got to be up super early in the morning. So we are going to talk about the Xbox showcase. I'm just gonna run off everything that happened, and I'm gonna hand it off to Nick and Dave to talk about the 2 games that we kind of want to focus. Well, 3 games we want to focus on here, and it's going to be the 2 that were announced as exclusive, which are Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. I'm sorry, did I say that right? Yes, I did. And which is crazy for me to get that name wrong because I'm so excited for that game. And of course, Halo campaign evolved. But everything that was announced, and you guys also can pull from any of these threads. I just want to get that full list out there for everyone, just in fairness of it. But of course, like it started out with Gears of War E-Day throughout the this showcase, both Fable, Halo, Persona 4 reveal, and an official date for 2027. Persona 6 had a little quick teaser. Spyro, which was a huge surprise for all of us. Minecraft Dungeons 2, Crazy Taxi World Tour, Metro 2039, which got both Chip and I excited when we were watching the
yeah,
showcase. State of Decay 3, which we none of us really have experience with, but it looked pretty cool. Something we might want to jump into that 27 window. Senua, which was the from the Hell basically Hellblade 3, but smart. They learned from their past mistakes. They led with gameplay first. That was always the big critique of Hellblade 2, and we all kind of know how that whole story went. Castlevania showed up here again, looks amazing. Can't wait for that. Vivarium, a new RPG. I didn't really can't really this one didn't really sing to me as much as I thought it would. And then again, where Winds Meet is an existing game, and then another game that's slotted in that September slot is a Valor Mortis, which kind of gave us like it's like a first person Souls like based in the French Revolution. So cool concepts, but again, it's in that grinder of September 2026. So we'll know, like I said in there, may the odds forever be in your favor, Valor Mortis. I hope people can jump in and give you your time of day as well. The rest of the stuff were existing things. The biggest disappointment for me was that it closed out with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Granted, it looked good. It was just a little disappointing. That was the one more thing. Bethesda, of course, disappointed us all. Dave, I
yeah.
want you to lead with those which games you want to talk about because again, we've kind of discussed each of one of those games I announced as we were kind of going through these. Um, my just initial thoughts before passing through it was just amazing. It was a really good showcase. It was felt like banger after banger. A little disappointed for Chip over there when Persona 4 broke him in half, but Dave, you know, you guys, both you and Chip are the Xbox guys. What y'all want to talk about from this showcase?
Well, I'll say this too. I'll let Dave lead it. I mean, I said some things when we went over it, so I'll let Dave kind of lead it and really hear his thoughts on it, and I'll jump in if something he says sparks my interest. But if not, then just let Dave lead it and close it, and give his true thoughts on the Xbox.
Yeah, I think really, to me, Gears of War just stole the show, or took took the prize of the week. It looks like everything that I wanted. The fact that we've talked about, we've been jumping into some of these single player experiences, and now over the summer we're gonna jump in and play Halo together. But then when we jump in to play that Gears of War together, I think that's gonna be just like the peak of the year. Like that, it looks phenomenal. And we talked about the gamer, like the age group of gamers is growing, and we fall in that bracket. The 30 to 39-year olds is a huge demographic, and we came up with the Gears 1, 2, and 3, and then just like Halo, they fell off with 4, 5, and 6. I shouldn't say fell off. I know they probably made money, and it's popular in that niche, but the newer gamers, they're not jumping into Gears of War 5 or 6 and like falling in love with it like we did. So I think it's a great time to kind of reignite things, kind of restart back from the beginning. And dude, just seeing how you can slide, you can sprint, slide, and shotgun like that was the Apex Legends formula.
Yeah,
Sliding down a hill, blasting someone. Like I feel like there's going to be so many things to clip, so many moments, that we enjoy with this. I thought Xbox crushed it. I agree with you. Like Call of Duty should be its own separate thing. I don't know. This might be a good Call of Duty this year. We could talk maybe another episode about like the DMZ mode coming and the whole the I played the previous DMZ and one of the past couple of years Call of Duties, and it was fun as hell. I will give them that. Like that extraction mode, you're doing missions. They could really do something with it. But to me, it's like Call of Duty is just kind of like old news, innocent.
hmm
Like we know it's coming, we know it could be fun. And the big thing about it this year, it's not on Game Pass day one. That's what I used to like. Call of Duty, you, I could pick it up, just play the campaign, whatever. But now it's like I don't even know if I'll end up buying this one because of how much else there is to play. um
I didn't know it wasn't on Game Pass. That's actually good info to have because I probably won't jump
yeah,
in now. Because I was
yeah.
like,
Same.
we were actually watching the trailer and we were talking. I bet you Dave would love for us to jump in with DMZ,
yeah.
but yeah, if we got to pay money on it, especially in such a busy upcoming holiday season, yeah, damn.
And and
Thank you. I didn't know that at all. That's good info.
yeah, and how
Yeah,
many other games were on Game Pass day one? I mean, it's like, dude.
that's the issue. That was the big thing with them change. They took the price down from basically $30 down to what is it, like $23 a month or something. And but they took out like Call of Duty will no longer be a day one
Mhm.
um, title. It'll be 1 year later. So like a year after it launches, it'll be on Game Pass. But at that point, I
Everyone's already done with
They
it.
could.
Yeah.
right.
I'd rather them take it down to like $15 and just never have a Call of Duty on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think DMZ, there's something there with DMZ. It was so much fun. I played like I got really far, in the missions and stuff, but I don't know. Like to me, Gears of War, um, it looks incredible. 12-player horde mode. I want to see more about that, what that looks like.
That's crazy. It sounds fun
Yeah,
as hell.
It makes me kind of nervous that you would be relying on other squads, for your success. What if someone gets disconnected, and all those questions rise up. But no, some of my greatest memories in gaming was on the 360 playing Horde, with some buddies, and you're trying to get to 50. You're staying. Those are the nights you stay up till 2, 3 in the morning because you're on wave 45, and you're like, dude, we just got to finish this thing. And
That's us right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Except it's only 11 and we're all like dead.
Time she's a cruel mistress, boys. She got us
Yeah.
down bad.
But I could rant and rave about it. I know we're gonna have more episodes later this year as things, there's a beta. I got to look at the dates, but some point there's a beta coming out. I think in August or something where we could all jump in and play for a weekend, and then I'm definitely gonna be doing the pre-order, early access, all that. It makes me sad. One of my other draft picks is the Galactic Racer from Star Wars that it drops the same day as Gears of War. So that
Ooh.
game, it's gonna get buried. Unfortunately, I mean, I want to play. I love Star Wars. I usually try to play every kind of Star Wars game, but man, Gears of War, it's gonna take over.
Yeah.
That Galactic Racer is gonna get killer points, though, dude. I mean, it's shaping up to look like a hell of a game. Trust me, Chip is happy he picked Marathon over it. He might not know it yet, but he'll find out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if there's time, or if it's I don't know. I I'll definitely try to play both, but
Yeah,
no, that
Gears is going
was.
to take the front seat for sure.
I'm pumped.
Well, especially for me.
Xbox is back. We got Fable pushed out. It's gonna probably take Game of the Year 2027, which I know our fantasy thing is just a fun little side thing going on, but in reality, I think it makes
Fun.
sense. Yeah,
I gotta play
painful,
mixtape. What are you talking about? Fun.
painful for some.
Getting that same achievement.
Just look up IGN's guide. You could probably fly through mixtape in a couple hours.
Read a novel. They'll be so excited about it. Ugh.
But
Can you
yeah, I
imagine?
saw that Metro 2039 looks cool. State of Decay, like they really popped off. They could have had an A+ showcase, I think, if we saw something. Elder Scrolls close it out. Yeah, it's a weird choice. Like, hey, one more thing. I bet you weren't expecting this, and it's Call of
Hmm.
Duty. Like, come on, like you
Did
know.
you see that, Dave? The like kind of the dude, why do I keep running out of like my brain where it's like the montage of everyone watching all the live streams at once when they show that it's like the audible groan across the country. Everyone's just like, but like I head
Oh,
man, like all of us were. We're just like, dude.
yeah. I didn't see that, but I could imagine because it's in those in situations you're like waiting. You're like, I want to see something new, and then you know what can you do?
And we touched on it on our end, Dave, but the last two and the other Xbox exclusive that was announced in the showcase, Clockwork Revolution,
Yeah.
it just looks amazing to me. I think that game, if that and if it comes out in 27, I think will beat out Fable for Game of the Year from everything I've seen
Oh
from that. I
wow.
think those two, and that's what I think will be really cool for Xbox. It'll probably be one of the few times, well, probably ever, where I think two of their games are going to be in that discussion in my own personal taste, and I would like to see how it all sits. But those two look like massive contenders for me. And just a huge shout out to Spyro Realm Reborn. Good to see our purple boy back in the game.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Clockwork? And then we can kind of wrap it up there and kind of give our grades and say goodbye to everybody.
I think it looks really good in terms of visuals. I gotta learn more about it. It wasn't a game that was on my radar. I've heard everyone raving about it. Like it's definitely one I'm gonna pick up based off the gameplay. It looks like just the first person shooter elements and stuff. Like it looks really clean. I just don't know that much about it, to be honest. I've gotta. Um, it'll be on my list, but I didn't know. Like hearing you say it could beat out Fable, I'm like, wow. It wasn't on my radar like that, so I got to learn some more about it.
Yeah, it's just stuff that developer that's made in the past just has me excited. In Exile, They're just they're a good studio, man. The Wasteland series and stuff like that. So let's see what they pull off here. Their just worlds are super interactive, super like choice and consequence actually matters, and like really warps the world in your way. And they've like added like that time travel aspect in it too. So where like you kind of see your decisions play out in real time almost. So that'll be
Yeah.
kind of I think they have a lot of it's to see if they stick the landing, right? See if they stick the landing. But they seem like all the concepts and what we've seen is all there to make it like a huge, like I said, maybe just a huge brand new series that Xbox can build off of. Which is cool to see in the this day and age as well.
Yeah.
But Dave, so seeing all that and kind of like being able to sit on it for a little while since it came out, what would you rank this one in comparison, like in those letter grades? It doesn't even have to be in comparison. Like, how'd you feel about it as a whole?
You know, like I said, I think I could have given all of them an A, but if anyone's going to get an A, it was, I think Xbox won this round. Just it kind of just building up to it as well. We knew this momentum was coming, and we didn't even touch on that. As far as I know, they were the only ones that kind of showed off some kind of console or hardware, and yeah, it's going to be a green Series X that'll probably cost $1,000 and will be sold out in a matter of 2 minutes because all the scalpers are going to get them. But it's still fun. Like it's still I like that they're going that route. 25 years, and they're bringing people back to that. There was a whole era like that for a while where things that were see through, it was cool. I had a purple see through Game Boy, and it was like, and then so yeah, I might try to get my greasy hands on that thing if I can, but like I said, it'll be sold out. It'll be one of those things where you check the website, 30 seconds later they're gone. That's the world we
Yeah.
live in. But it's awesome. The momentum behind Xbox. Yeah, there's a couple I wish we saw like a new Halo project as well. There's always like the things that you're hoping for, but for what they gave us, um, I was on the edge of my seat. Like Gears of War, just alone opening the show, it was like, all right, we're back. Like this is what I want to feel. I want to go into this co-op mode with you boys, battling the locusts. Like this is why I got into gaming, and they definitely delivered. So, what did you guys
Beautifully put, man. Beautifully put. Chip, stop staring at your map of Middle Earth and give us your grade of the Xbox showcase.
Oh, sorry, doing some research, boys. I guess it did look like I was staring at that thing. Planning my route to Mount
Mordor.
But yeah, I agree with Dave, dude. I'd give it an A. Maybe an A minus, just because Call of Duty wrapped it up. You know what I mean? It, I know me and you were hoping for that big Elder Scrolls reveal or just something, the, the path for Halo, something that wasn't freaking Call of Duty. But other than that, they just delivered. They got back to the exclusives. They dropped the hardware. A lot of the games looked awesome. So, yeah, I think they won. And it makes me excited for the path of Xbox.
So for me, I'm a little bit different. Not not low. Not what you're thinking. Just like this Sony State of Play, I'm giving it a B plus, and I'll tell you why. I agree with you guys. It does give you that I'm back kind of vibe, but it goes with the inconsistency of it. Like, yes, you get 2 games that are exclusive. The rest are basically on everything else as well, right? And with those 2 exclusive games, they are PC as well, so they're not fully exclusive. Also, like it's
That's
just
true.
the hardware we see. Yes, it's cool, but it's nothing new. Um,
Right.
I'm not saying all this to be like a hater at all. And the same thing I felt about Sony with a lot of stuff there is. And it was for me, and it's hard for me to look away. Yes, I'm excited for not all the games that are announced, but especially the big hitters. Persona 6, that little little clip there. Something I'm excited for. I know you guys aren't really in that realm, but that's something to be excited about. But I give it the B plus just because ending it with Call of Duty really took the wind out of my sails, and I was extremely disappointed in Bethesda. And I feel like that falls on Xbox's lap. That's your studio. Don't even bring that crap they had in there, except bring the Doom stuff. That's excellent, awesome. I didn't need to see the ESO and Fallout 76 crap. That's just disappointing, and that's what kind of brought it down for me. And I can say the same thing with Sony saying you got 20 minutes of gameplay, yet we only really got 6 minutes of it. So both of them, but what I respect about both of them, and that's why I both give them B pluses. They started strong with big swings. They both attempted, and I feel like if they would have ended with Clockwork Revolution, that same announcement, that would have been a bigger one for me than Call of Duty. Call of Duty should have been right in the middle of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they're trying to capitalize on that money. Can't really blame them for that. But all around, I appreciate you boys. This was a long one. We kind of went into it knowing it was going to be a long one. Our return to form right after the biggest, like as Dave stated, one of the biggest weeks in gaming, kind of bleeding into this week too with Nintendo. But excellent, ton of fun, great talking with you boys. Ton of stuff to look forward to. September, just get your coffee and white monsters now and start mixing them together, because that's the only way we're making it through September with our lives and being able to game and everything we want to play. So with all of that, thank you everyone. We hope you guys were enjoying our grinding game news week and us trying to keep up with everything. We're still learning. We're still trying to get better at this. You guys, please jump in those comments. Let us know. But we're so grateful for you guys. And always remember, keep grinding, keep gaming. We'll see all you next week. Take care, everybody. Good night, boys.
Thank y'all.